Welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing Podcast, Monday Mania edition. Thanks everybody for joining us. This is your host, Mr. BDA. And I see Luke Peterson just donated a small super chat tip, £2. Thanks very much, Luke, for your contribution. This takes us ever closer to our call-in show that we want to get off the ground. Again, don't forget, guys, you can give small... Oh, there we go. So thanks again to Luke Peterson for that generous contribution. Don't forget, you can donate if you want. You can go to our Patreon page and make a small contribution there as well. If you want to join us, don't forget, guys, you can go to Google Hangouts and send us an instant message via the email address on top of your screen, boxingdebate@hotmail.com. That is boxingdebate@hotmail.com. Don't forget to check out, like I said, Patreon page, like, subscribe, and watch out for all the other content we've got coming your way this coming month, especially with the World Cup. Let's give a shout out to everybody in the chat room: Antonio Garza, Luke Peterson, Original Bruno, Pavel, Nice Kitty, Recognize the Matrix. Shout out to Recognize, Antonio Garza, and many more to come, I am sure. Boxing Fairy Tale in the house as well. Speaking of fairy tales, I don't know if you guys saw, there was this video. I don't think we can show it here, but there was a fight in Brazil. And these two guys, it was an MMA fight, not a boxing fight. But these guys got into a fight, as you can see there. And after the ref separated them, he wanted to check on one guy's cut. And then he turned his back, which you're not supposed to do. And he let the two fighters left into their own devices. And they started fighting. He tried separating them, as you can see here on the screen. Couldn't quite do it. They ended up kicking each other in the face, punching each other. It was just a whole mess. It's not easy being a referee, I tell you. Looks easy, but it is much, much harder. We are about to post a Terence Crawford versus Terence Crawford versus Jeff Horn prediction video, so check that out. We're also streaming on YouTube right now, so those for you listening on Spreaker, you can always check out this live stream after it's done to see if you missed anything, if we had to edit anything out. We got more people in the chat room. Pop-Tart Gun says, thanks for the bike, Red. Where's my 40, homie? Debo from Friday. The Quags, shout out to Quags. Brandon White. Oh yeah, man, those Brazilians are nuts, man. I mean, if you're a referee, whether it's boxing, MMA, football, you don't turn your back on what's going on. You don't leave these fighters to their own devices. They're going to start punching each other in the face. I mean, come on. How many times do I got to say it? By the way, hold on a second here. And oh, here's what I want to talk about, because apparently there's some rumblings, I should say, going on that who's it from? Gilberto Ramirez's coach says he wants to fight David Benavidez. That's been something that's a rumor that's been circulating this past couple of days, weeks rather. Gilberto Ramirez versus Benavidez. Let me tell you, Ramirez's best win right now is against Arthur Abraham. And he did take on some young blood. But let's not get it twisted. He took on an undefeated guy that just got a win a couple of weeks ago, rather. Habib Hamed. No, sorry, not Habib Hamed. Jesse Hart. And, alright, you know, good win for Ramirez, even though I thought Hart came back late in the fight. But Benavidez is whole other proposition right now. He's got quick hands. When he trains, he's very difficult to beat. I mean, he's undefeated, but I'm saying it's very difficult to get the best of him. He's 20-0, 17 knockouts. I mean, he's got hand speed, power. Ronald Gavril, who's a very tough guy, came in shape as always, tried to outwork Benavidez, tried to do the best he could, and just couldn't quite pull it off. So Benavidez is that type of fighter. Very strong, very, very fast-handed. Perhaps one of the best guys in the super middleweight division in the coming future. We're going to see whether he's really that good. It appears so. Although I do have some hope on Caleb Truax. Not Caleb Truax. What's his name? The other guy. The names I'm forgetting. Butcher, do you know who I'm talking about? Super middleweight. Caleb. The other Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant. That's another guy you got to watch out for. He seems to be, and him and Benavidez have been talking about fighting. So maybe in the future they're both with the PBC, I think. But Ramirez needs to take it easy. Maybe with the whole Ramirez thing. I'm not sure about that. Also in the news, there's a talk that the UFC is trying to run down its contract with Fox Sports, or Fox rather. It's about to run out rather, and they're looking for ESPN. They're looking to ESPN. The ESPN apparently already has its library there to play certain events. So the big question is whether Bob Arum's Top Rank, Todd DeBuff is well running that right now, or about to run it when Bob Arum finally ends up retiring or passing away or whatever. So how is it gonna work? I mean, is there gonna be a conflict here? If UFC has a big card and Top Rank has a card as well, how are they gonna work that out? Is one gonna be relegated to ESPN2 or maybe ESPN Plus, the internet platform? We will see. We will see. Not much boxing going on this past week or weekend, but this next coming week, this Saturday, June the 9th, we got a lot going on. First of all, on June the 8th, on ESPN2, the Friday, Diego De Loya takes on Jose Salgado. And then the following day, of course, we have Jeff Horn versus Crawford, the return of Jose Pedraza, who is now with Top Rank. In Showtime, Leo Santa Cruz takes on Abner Mares. Jermel, the 154-pounder, takes on Austin Trout. Ivan Redcash returns against Brian Jones in an 8 or 10 rounder. They still haven't decided the length of the fight. And in England, everyone's favorite Tyson Fury comes back against Seferi. What type of name is that? And then, of course, on the undercard, Terry Flanagan versus Maurice Hooker, a fight that I'm looking forward to because it's two upcoming guys, or actually, Maurice Hooker's an upcoming guy. But as the people in the panel here pointed out to me, not terribly excited in that fight. Terry Flanagan looks horrible to most people, even though I think he fought Peter Petrov, who's a very tough guy. And Maurice Hooker, a lot of people thought he lost against Darlis Perez. So both guys have a lot to prove. Both guys have a lot to make up for in terms of their fights. Terry Flanagan, I don't think he's that bad a fighter. Wins over Diego Magdaleno, which is Jesse Magdaleno's, who's Magdaleno's brother. Derry Matthews, Moscafana, Orlando Cruz, who's a favorite amongst our panelists. Peter Petrov, like I mentioned before. So it's a pretty solid resume. And if he adds the undefeated American Maurice Hooker to his collection, pretty good resume right there. By the way, I see we've got, who do we got? Oh, we got Cameron in the house, I should say.
Fuck, mate, it's life, man. You only live once. Make the most of life. Enjoy it. Everybody's got their weird fetishes, man. And mine just happens to be eating fucking ass.
All right, we got Cameron. Cameron, are you there?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Good to be on. Because things ended very badly for me and the girl today, so it's good to come on and talk about boxing. Single man again. So any hot ladies out there, hit me up.
Wait a minute. Was she the one that was listening to the show?
Yeah, man. It ended on good terms. I'll just say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's nothing better than ending on good terms where you. Yeah, it's like a fight. It's like a boxing fight where, all right, it's nothing personal. We're just, we did what we had to, and now it's over. We move our separate ways,
Yeah, that's it. That's basically what happened, man. We're still friends, you know what I mean? Basically, I think we just both felt like we were just meant to be friends, if you know what I mean. It's just kind of that connection, but it's all good.
King Bucho asks, are good terms dead? Or is that whole concept of ending on good terms?
Well, for me, it ended on good terms. You know what I mean? For me, I feel good. You know what I mean? I'm not that bothered about it, but I don't know if she is or not. But it is what it is, man. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the fights this weekend. I know Crawford and Horn. Lack of promotion, though, isn't there? I mean, there's not really been much being promoted about the fight. I've not really seen much promotion about it, but it's a good fight.
Well, it's taking place on ESPN Plus. I mean, how much? you know, it's like, I know it's the future, the streaming on the internet and all that, but you have to wonder, I mean, how much of an audience are they going to get on ES? I mean, if they're going to replay that or make it available for replay, then okay, but let's see what happens. I don't know. I'm not sure how exactly that's going to work out.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's what for other fights? We got Tyson Fury back this weekend as well. Terry Flanagan, like you said, which is I just want to say one thing about Terry Flanagan actually.
Please.
And because people were tweeting about Terry Flanagan and you know why, you know, he's 34-0, but nobody cares about his career. And it's simply because he's not had that breakout performance against a top fighter. He's not had that breakout performance. You know, when every fighter has that breakout performance and people start buying into him. Flanagan hasn't had that. You know, he's 34-0. He could be a two-weight world champion this weekend, and he's fought absolutely nobody. Well, you know, it's one of the most padded records for a world champion for a long time, especially in Britain. And that's why Flanagan's just very, you know, overlooked, because nobody just can't get into his actual career because he's not fighting anybody people want to see. So it's a tough one to kind of look into, really.
I mean, I disagree with the fact he hasn't beaten. I mean, he hasn't beaten any of the top names. You know, I mean, if we're talking,
that's what I mean. So that's what I mean.
Right, because first of all, he's fighting at super. Is this fight? This is taking its junior welterweight. No, 130. Yeah, well, 140 pounds. Yeah. So he's finally. So he vacated his belt then, whichever belt he had, the WBO belt apparently.
That's Beltran's got that now. 144 pounds.
See, for a guy that was looking forward to the fight, I didn't even know I didn't know this fight was going to be taking place at 140 pounds. So this really does add an interesting dimension to this fight, because Terry Flanagan, you have to wonder, he's moving into a division that seemingly overnight turned into a pretty loaded division. I mean, you got Alex Saucedo, whom I've never seen before, but he's undefeated with a glossy record of 27-0. You got Baranchik, who's a very strong guy. Lipinets, who gave Mikey Garcia hell. Troyanovsky, who's, you know, he's a pretty decent fighter. We'll see what he can do if he does take place in the tournament, in the World Boxing Super Series. Josh Taylor, who everybody thinks is the next big thing. Orozco, who's a very strong fighter. Ramirez, who just beat Imam, another strong come-forward fighter. Kirill Relic, who is a non-stop punching machine. Postal, still dangerous. And then Regis Prograis, who is listed as #1 guy. Very strong puncher. So, yeah, now that you mention it, man, if Flanagan would have stayed at lightweight, I would have said, all right, you know, it's not that bad there, even though they got some good names there as well. But 140 pounds, I mean, he's a guy that doesn't even hit all that hard either. And he's not...
Is this Flanagan you're talking about still, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, Flanagan's not... Yeah, he's not proven to be a puncher, especially at top level. You know, look at the guys he's fought. I mean, he went 12 rounds with Derry Matthews. Stu brought his point up a few times on the podcast, but when we talk about Flanagan, you know, and it is a good point. You know, he went 12 rounds with Derry Matthews, who's been knocked out by Luke Campbell and O'Hara Davis. You know, O'Hara Davis ran through the guy, and O'Hara Davis isn't a world beater. Whereas Terry Flanagan went 12 rounds with the guy, and Derry Matthews isn't a world, you know, an elite fighter. You know what I mean? So Flanagan's not proven to be a big puncher at lightweight, like you said. So, I mean, you know, Maurice Hooker, I mean, I don't think many people have seen much of him. I certainly haven't seen much of him apart from his last fight. So for me, it's just a fight that I can't get invested in. I feel, you know, Flanagan was in a good division at lightweight. I think everybody would agree with that. You know, he's in there with Linares, he had Garcia, he's talking about fighting Lomachenko. Those are the fights that he should have been fighting in. You know, he wasn't tight at the weight from what I saw. You know, he wasn't like struggling to make 135 pounds. I just feel like, you know, they saw the fighters coming up. They knew Lomachenko was going to come up and then be mandated for that title at some point. Even though he fought Linares, you know, Lomachenko would have been mandated because the WBO mandate their champion if he moves up to another division. So I just feel like they saw, you know, an easy opportunity to get a second world title and stay undefeated. I just feel like they're really, you know, keeping Flanagan at harm's way, and I just feel like it's kind of paying. It's not really paying well for him because he's not getting the recognition of being a world champion. It's simply because he's not fighting anyone legit.
Yeah, he's not fighting any. I wonder what the press is saying about him over there. Like, what are they saying?
Not much. Nobody really covers him, to be honest. I mean, there won't be any coverage of him this weekend, I doubt. I mean, obviously, because, you know, it's all about Tyson Fury. Nobody will really talk about Terry Flanagan apart from the real hardcore fans. I mean, obviously, I'll watch the fight. I think we'll all watch the fight because, you know, we just love boxing. But outside of the real boxing fans, nobody's going to really care about this fight. It's just as simple as that.
Well, I gotta tell you what, knowing both guys, Maurice Hooker, his opponent, and having watched Terry Flanagan fight, it's not gonna be an entertaining fight because Hooker isn't a big, huge puncher either. Although the saving grace might be that Hooker isn't a defensive wizard either. As remember, Darlis Perez was catching him with overhand rights and going to the body pretty well. So this might turn out to be an somewhat entertaining fight. You never know. But yeah, I'm not expecting, in terms of either guy being the #1 fighter in the division, I don't see it happening. Terry Flanagan just doesn't have the power, or he doesn't have exceptional boxing abilities where he can outbox some of the guys that we're seeing, or that we're going to see if the WBSS tournament takes place. Butcher, are you there, by the way? Did you come back? No? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you there?
Yeah, I'm in the chat. I was in the chat listening.
All right. So yeah, we're just talking about the fights this coming weekend. By the way, let's start with some predictions here. I'm gonna get your predictions, and then we'll, as more people start coming along during the week, we'll start putting them on. Cameron, I'll start with you with the big one, Horn versus Crawford. Who do you think ends up taking that one?
Right now, I think Terence Crawford wins on points, unanimous decision. I think Crawford's going to be, on the back foot. I don't think he's going to be taking many risks. I think he'll just pick Horn off and, won't open up as much. I feel like it'll be a pretty, similar to like the Postal fight and things like that. I think it'll be pretty lackluster, but I think Crawford wins on points quite handy, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I got that written down. On Saturday, we're really going to go into depth into why people made their predictions, so you'll be able to give us your explanation, or maybe even change your prediction if you want as we get closer to Saturday. But yeah, Crawford unanimous decision. That's what I've been reading. A lot of people have been saying or picking. That's their pick for the most part on message boards and comment sections all across the internet. How about you, Bucho? Who do you see winning this one? Like, what's your prediction?
Crawford by decision. He's going to be very cautious on the back foot. There's going to be a lot of clinches.
Mm-hmm. All right,
that's all I'll say for now.
So you both, just because I want to write this little detail down here, you're saying Crawford by lackluster unanimous decision.
Yeah, lackluster, exactly.
Can I write that for you, Cameron, too?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
All right, so lackluster unanimous decision.
Yeah, it's not going to be a very interesting fight, I don't think.
Yeah, well, it's an intriguing one coming in. Definitely an intriguing one.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I think, their styles won't gel to make an exciting fight.
Well, that's the thing. Neither guy is all that entertaining. But like I said, there are some big implications regarding the potential fights that could be made. By the way, Errol Spence said last week that he wants to clear his side of the street, which I'm guessing he's referring to the PBC, before he takes on Terence Crawford. So, do you guys think that fight could be possibly made? Do you think that they're gonna make my dream come true and actually get it on, or what are the chances that Crawford and Errol Spence do end up fighting each other?
Butcher, do you want to go first, man? I saw you on mute.
Go ahead.
I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon. I don't think this year or next year. I think it might be next year. I guess it depends on Keith Thurman in a way. Because it's obvious that Errol Spence wants the winner of Danny Garcia, Sean Porter as well. Obviously, that fight's going to be taking place. I think Spence might fight the winner of that fight at the end of the year, maybe start next year. I'd like to see Spence fight the winner of that at the end of the year, but Garcia Porter looks like it's going to be in August, so maybe those two guys don't really fight often, do they? So maybe it'll be the start next year. And looking at Keith Thurman as well, I mean, I don't really want to talk about Thurman because he's so out of the picture, but whilst he's still got a belt, the fight that people want to see is Thurman against Spence, the two undefeated champions. So for me, I feel like Crawford and Spence might not happen until at the earliest late next year, in my opinion. At least another 18 months or so.
Yeah, the way they're talking about it is that Garcia versus Porter is going to happen. I mean, actually, I think they already set that date, right?
Yeah.
All right, so it's going to happen, and so obviously the most obvious thing here would be for the winner of that fight to take on Errol Spence. So I think they're gonna wait to see what happens with Keith Thurman to see if he stays with the PBC or whatever. And if not, maybe they'll be thinking about taking on Terence Crawford down the line. You know, I agree. I don't see the chances of Crawford and Spence taking place, especially since Keith Thurman, who's with the PBC, they were never able to get Errol Spence and Thurman off the ground, even though they were, like I said, both with the PBC. So
fuck.
I don't know. I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed and put that in the wish list. Hopefully that fight happens. Then again, this is also dependent on whether Terence Crawford looks good against Jeff Horn. Because if he looks like shit, I'm gonna have to change my prediction, because I'm not like, let's say Crawford and struggles with Horn. Are you guys gonna say Terence Crawford sucks, or are you gonna say maybe Jeff Horn was?
No. Because Horn's difficult. I mean, Horn's a difficult fight. I don't think. I mean, I think Crawford would win handily, but I don't think it'll be a complete, demolition job in like a 12-0 fight. I think Horn will have success. Because I think Horn, pressure. I think he'll really test Crawford at some points.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, if Crawford doesn't look amazing, I'm not going to sit here and say, Crawford's not that good. Because Horn's a big welterweight. He's a big welterweight.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know how he makes the weight. So for me, he's tough. He's durable. Horn. I think Crawford wins the unanimous decision, but if he has spells where he doesn't look amazing, I'm not going to say it's because Crawford's a bad fighter. I just think Horn's just one of those fighters I think will give a lot of fighters problems in some parts of the fight.
All right, there you go. That's a sensible attitude and point of view to take. By the way, we got Mr. Coxie in the chat. Shout out to Coxie. We got Pavel as well, The Punisher, Pop Tart Gun, Chris Gonzalez, who says, "Hey everybody." The Punisher says Crawford should stop Horn, since Horn might not be able to use his arsenal of veteran tactics. Veteran tactics, that's a bit of a euphemism for dirty as fuck. Steven Skillrow says Crawford sucks. Now see, that's the type of attitude that I really just don't like. Alright? And that type of language either sucks. Come on. Just say, I don't think he's as good as most people think. Nicola Ferrari says Horn is not going to be allowed to foul. Forget about it. They are not in Australia. There was an article in Boxing Scene, by the way, about that, and Horn's coach is saying, or dismissing claims that they are dirty, but they do hope that the referee, which is going to be Robert Bird apparently. I hope I got that right. Yeah, one of those referees, they're trying to appeal to him, I think, to let him fight on the inside. Antonio Garza says Horn is a strong...
Basically, they know they're in deep. Let's be honest, Jeff Horn's know they're in deep. They just want as many advantages as they can, you know what I mean? Because Jeff Horn is, it's pretty obvious that Jeff Horn, a lot of his success in this fight is going to come on the inside, roughing Crawford up, using the size, using, that weight, you know what I mean? But for me, I just, I see a lot of desperation in Horn's sort of team, what they've come out with recently, the last sort of week or so, but not really Horn himself, more his trainer and everything like that, the things they're saying about Crawford. I just feel like, I mean, I know did somebody in the chat say Crawford sucked? I mean, the guy's a 2-8 lineal champion, isn't he? I mean, the guy cleaned up, a lot of good fighters. He didn't clean out divisions, but he beat a lot of good fighters. He unified the division. So, Crawford's a top pound for pound fighter. There's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. And by the way, before we continue, we've got Recognize and Pavel on the line.
Don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York. Every time I watch the local news, they're always talking about, well, there was a stabbing here, there was a stabbing there, there was a shooting there, but the crime is down.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you for being on. Good to have you on board.
Thank you for having me.
Shit, what's up, brothers?
What's up, Recognize? What's up, Pavel?
It's my brother, Pavel.
What's up, man? My brother.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, people, just
Recognize, what's up, brother? What's up, brother?
What's up, my brother?
What's up, Pavel?
My brother, Cam, my brother. Don't be worried about your girlfriend. I'm with you.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I heard X has some girls lined up for you.
Listen, man, for me, it's strictly boxing now for a while, you know what I mean? Just enjoying the boxing. Women, I'm off limits.
I think...
there's no problem with that.
Unless you got a big ass, hit me up. Sorry, I just need to get out of there.
There you go. The more the better.
Cameron, I hope you won't go MGTOW.
Never, bro, never.
Well, actually, hold on. Let's see him be dumped a couple of more times, and then we'll see. No, by the way, he wasn't dumped. By the way, he never said he was dumped. I'm just playing. But
Come on, man, let's be a positive show.
yeah, let's be a positive show. You're right. Listen, I wanna get Pavel and recognize his predictions, but we're not gonna talk too much about the fight. I just want to get the predictions right off the bat. But let's see what people are saying about Crawford versus Horn. Coxie says, I think Crawford can KO Horn. Somebody else before that said, Jazz says, if Crawford goes to Horn's body, he can stop him. Horn's tough though, good chin and good conditioning. The body is gonna be key here for both fighters. I mean, I know it's easy to say, oh, go to the body, no shit, but Crawford is open to counter uppercuts to the body. I've seen that, and Terence Crawford has no inside game. He's got those big ass, long ass arms. All he can do with them is tie up. You've never see him actually stand his ground, bend his waist, and go to the body and dig down there. But it's gonna be interesting to see. By the way, Steven Skillrose says, I'm sorry, BDA, Crawford doesn't suck, but he's overrated. Maybe. Listen, we're gonna find out this Saturday.
Yeah, that's a more respectful opinion, I'd say. You know, saying he full on sucked is just, it's just, you know, that's just, come on, man. I think that's a bit stupidity. But saying he's overrated, you know, that's someone's opinion. You know what I mean? If they think they're overrated, don't you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know, but it's as boxing fans, we often tend to jump the gun with our language. We don't actually realize sometimes, you know, when you say a guy sucks, but then you actually step back and you go, actually, yeah, I didn't mean suck. I just meant, you know, he's not what people make him out to be. That sort of shit. All right, listen. I want to get, like I said, the point of this show is prediction time. We gotta put it up. All right, guys. So
prediction.
So let's start with you. Recognize prediction for this Saturday's fight between Jeff Horn and Terence Crawford.
All right. By the way, can you guys hear me good?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I say I'm gonna go with the obvious. I think Terence Crawford will win this fight. I also feel he's gonna. There's more likely he's gonna get a stoppage. I think he'll win by stoppage. It might be a bit controversial, but I think if he gets him in the type of trouble that Pacquiao got him into, they'll definitely stop the fight. But I like Horn to give him some issues, especially early. We also know that he's capable of doing it late. So I'm pretty interested in this fight. I'm not looking at it as this is a no-brainer and there's no reason to look at this fight. I know who's going to win. Although I'm going with Terence Crawford, I like what Horn brings to the table, especially if he's allowed to bring in his, you know, I'm using air quotations there, veteran tactics, you know. So if he's allowed to do that, which I doubt it can make the fight really interesting.
All right, so we got you down for Crawford by late stoppage.
Yeah, 10th round. I'm going to say 10th round.
Well, you're always, remember, you guys can always change your prediction on Saturday when we do the final show prior to the fight. So there's no.
It's going to be a bit controversial too, the stoppage. That's what I'm predicting too.
All right, I'm going to write that down. Late controversial stoppage.
Yeah.
All right. But what do you mean by controversial, by the way?
It's going to be where, you know, fans are going to feel that the fight can continue. Terence Crawford is clearly winning the fight. Maybe even drops Jeff Horn, who's a big welterweight. That'd be interesting if he could do that. Or just bruise him up, which something that looks like it happens a lot to Jeff Horn. Or he has that. At least he has that skin tone that could get bruised up pretty easily.
Oh,
and it'll be one of those kind of stoppages like that. I think it'll be one of those stoppages where a lot of fans are going to feel like, man, this fight could have continued.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
All right,
but I think Terence Crawford is one of the best fighters right now.
So there you have it. Recognize going with a late controversial stoppage and getting racial in the process, talking about Jeff.
No, that was it.
I'm kidding.
I think people are gonna start saying, you know, I think that recognizes a racist.
Everybody's a racist.
I think we've all been called racist at some point by people on this show. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I have been. Trust me.
Yeah, nowadays everybody's a racist. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, the way BDA, the way you said that so subtly as well.
All right, well, let's get your prediction, shall we?
Mine.
Yeah. Unless you don't
Okay,
have
I
one.
didn't. I didn't hear you saying my name. So, okay. Before I give my prediction, could you guys tell me if the fight is happening in Vegas?
Yeah, it is happening in Vegas.
Oh, okay. So the controversial stoppage is definitely possible. In favor of the All-American Bot Crawford. But my prediction would be same as Cameron's. Unanimous decision. I was about to say undisputed. Unanimous decision for Terence Crawford. Basically, I think the school teacher is going to get pot-shotted by the thug from Omaha for 12 rounds, and that's it.
Can I just say, BD, I'd like to change my prediction to Terence Crawford undisputed points decision.
Undisputed. All right. Undisputed linear decision. I mean, come on.
Undisputed regular interim points decision for me.
All right. I'm going to change mine to diamond decision. All right. So that's Pavel saying Crawford by unanimous decision. And he thinks it's going to be, I'm going to write Crawford unanimous decision, shenanigans involved. All right.
Yeah, like mainly pot shotting, you know.
All right.
I expect similar style of the fight as he displayed in postal fight. So that's that.
All right. All right. So remember, guys, you can change your prediction as the week or the fight night approaches, rather. And by the way, speaking of fight nights, we got Stu on the line.
I wasn't back though.
I told you what's going to happen to Price. I told you he's going to be sleeping. I told you the ambulance is going to come. The oxygen mask is going to come out. I told you he's going to miss the main event. I told you all them things were going to happen.
There's only one Stu. Stu, are you there?
What's happening, boys?
What's going on, man?
Sup?
Yeah, what can I say? I mean, me and Butcher had a bit of fun with Hamid yesterday, didn't we, Butcher?
Oh,
I do feel quite bad actually, you know, going back and forth with him because I don't dislike the guy. I do actually quite like him, but he's just got devious ways and very two-faced and tells lies about the pod. Tells lies about the hangout and tells lies about what we made his life like this and we were shouting and screaming at him and we were bullying him and that weren't the case, man. You know, so he got his fair share on this show and he's going around talking about us. So unfortunately, it got a bit out of hand. I do feel a bit bad because I don't feel a big man trying to bully Hamid. Do you know what I mean?
Well, how did you try to bully him? I don't get it.
Well, I didn't try and bully him. He was. I mean, he was giving me a bit back, and I can handle it. You know, I'll give it out, so I've got to be able to take it. But you say no, you wouldn't say that to my face. I went, Hamid, please. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Listen.
He goes on from the streets. Oh, you don't know me. I got a bit of a reputation. I'm from the streets. I went, Hamid. I said, you're a troll. I went, you're a troll from the chat. That talked a lot in the chat, and then when you come in the hangout, you was like Minnie Mouse. You fucking bollocks.
I've seen that many times, man. People who are in that chat act like big boys, and then in the hangouts don't say shit.
Yeah,
until you confront
exactly.
him.
And then when Precise fucking ruined him, he went crying like a little baby. So that's not the aura of a tough man. So you know, let's be real. He can say what he likes. Hamid's not going to come and see me. And I'm not going to 5 hours in a car to go and see Hamid. So forget about all that come and say it to my face stuff. Because, like I said, if he was in front of my face, I'd gladly say it to him. Do you know what I mean? And if he wants the Canelo Khan treatment, we can go down that route. You know what I mean?
All right. First of all, let me clarify. Can I clarify? I want to clarify some things. I want to clarify some things here because people don't know what you're talking about. Butcher, do you want to?
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So there's another channel from this guy called Boxing IQ. Now he basically made a video called something Precise the Pretender, and anyway, so he was talking shit about Precise. Now, So then I was like, okay, well, let's have him debate Precise Presenter. You know, I was talking with Precise Presenter. He was like, yeah, sure. Like, let's make the debate. I want to debate this guy, blah, blah, blah. So then I wrote, like, you should join the BDA Hangouts. You should debate this guy. It's a chill place. You know, we're not going to, you know, we're just going to let you present your information. Then we're going to have civilized debate, basically. Then all of a sudden I see Hamed, right? Don't go on that show, you piece of shit. And he starts talking about shit about the show. So that's when I had a problem, because I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man? You know? Talking shit about us, and I told him. What
was it he said, Butcho? He said to Ring IQ, don't go on there. They're going to set you up for Precise to scream. Oh. He goes, it's clickbait. They do all that lot. When we don't do clickbait for views, we'd sit here and still chat amongst ourselves.
You're cutting off, man.
Recognize. What is that? I recognize.
All right, Stu, you're breaking up, man, heavily. Heavily.
Breaking up badly, man.
It's not recognized. I don't understand. It's that. How's X coming through recognize his feed? How is that?
What the
fuck? Recognize why you're talking like Hank Hill, man. What's the matter with you?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I just caught a flashback.
Yeah, you had that.
Man. I like that, man.
Oh, okay.
Some of these comments right now in the chat are fucking harsh. Jesus Christ.
Listen, I think Hamed, I told him, like, when he wanted to leave or whatever, I said, okay. And then, like, at some point we had a debate because Hamed was... what was it? Oh, yeah. So Stu had issues with Michael Stott, and Stu was going to leave the show. Or not leave the show. He just didn't want to be around this fucking guy, right? And then Hamed goes like, yeah. And then hold on. And Hamed goes like, yeah, Stu, you shouldn't go there. Blah, blah. I'm like, okay, what the fuck's your problem now? Now you're telling Stu not to come on the show? You know what I mean? He's just trying to ruin the show and everything. So I'm like, Hamed, shut your fucking mouth. I got all pissed at him. And then we started debating, and then he goes like, then I told him, okay, listen, Hamed, let's just make a deal. I will never ever mention your name on the show. And you will just go away and don't mention us either. But he broke the deal. He started telling Boxing IQ not to show up on our show. That's when I had an issue again. So, then he said we were harassing him. When the fuck did we harass him? This guy was the one that was sending us tons of messages on Boxing Hangouts. On the Google Hangouts. Tons of messages, even video clips. Him complaining about low plays, him complaining about Precise Presenter, sending us messages on Twitter, like, and he's saying he's not obsessed, and he's saying that we were harassing him, and that he had to block us. What the fuck?
Block us? Yeah, that's insane.
Show, man, isn't it? This is a boxing show, man. We've all had our heated debates. I just think some people take it worse than others. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, about a month ago, me and Precise had a bit of a thing, but we sorted it out. Yeah, I mean, I like Precise a lot. I've got a lot of respect for his opinion. You know what I mean? I mean, Precise knows his shit. You know what I mean? If let's be honest, I think some people just take, you know, some people just put facts on you.
Yeah, what I didn't like, Cameron. But what I didn't like, is the fact that he told this guy not to come on this show because we were using it as clickbait. We would have set him up to be attacked by Precise, and we're just doing it for views, and we're just doing it for drama. And he's been on this show. He had his chance on this show. Do you know what I mean? He spoke more than most of us combined sometimes. And let's be real. Do you know what I mean? So he got his chance. At the end of the day, he's making out that we treat him bad and we're going to stitch this guy up. We're just saying get this guy on the show and let him debate Precise, let them do it properly. So that would have been a good show, good one to watch. Now Hamed's put doubts in this guy's mind, so he's probably not going to want to come on now because that's a ratty thing to do, and that's my problem with Hamed.
Let me tell you something. I have been accused, and I've accused myself of that too, that I'm too lenient sometimes, because I try to be the... Again, if anybody wants to come to debate here, let's say Precise and Boxing IQ do get it on. It will be one-on-one with Butcher and myself playing moderator. We're not gonna let everybody jump on the guy, even if in case you disagree with what he has to say. It would be a one-on-one thing. Precise, he doesn't debate people on his channel. He blocks people on his channel. So I was just, Butcher and myself were thinking, all right, if he does want to debate Boxing IQ and Boxing IQ wants to debate him one-on-one, let's have it take place here on the show. Why not? It's good for the channel, it's good for everybody, and it's good for both people, both parties, so that they can do it head-to-head, right? Now, so that's the way I am. I'm moderator down the line. I try not to take sides. I am a human being though, and sometimes shit happens. But when it comes to Hamed, you know, this guy came to the show. All right, we just got started when we did the streams back in July or August of last year, and he was one of the first guys. Not the first, but one of the first. And I said, all right, this guy, okay, we start talking. Little by little, you start noticing, because I'm a bit of a blockhead. It takes me a while sometimes to figure people out. And it took me a while to figure Hamed out. But yes, he is an instigator. He has very rat-like behavior. All right? Bit of a weasel. Actually, no, not bit of a weasel. He is a weasel. That's why the other day I told Cameron, I hope nobody's whispering in your ear, because I know you talk to Hamed as well. That's the way the guy is. He tries to pit people off against each other. He did that with a bunch of people. You know, he wouldn't shut up about low plays. Every time, low plays this, low plays that. He would send me messages, long audio message. He actually wanted me to come on Hangouts just to talk about low plays. I said, listen, I got shit to do. I can't be talking about low plays. Anyway, low plays finally got voted off. Hamed got what he wanted. But it wasn't enough.
Still wanted to talk about
he still wanted to talk until Precise.
Then
Precise told him, like, sounds like you missed the guy. Then finally Hamed shut up. All right. Then he wanted Precise. Was that?
You got off apparently.
Okay, Precise told him, like, sounds like you missed the guy. And then that's what finally made Hamed crack and stop talking about low plays. Then Precise and Hamed started getting into a debate, and Hamed can handle it, because if he can't beat you in a debate, then he wants you off the show. So he started, you know, the drama behind the scenes, trying to get Precise off. He started complaining on the YouTube comments, saying how the quality of the show had gone down because Precise was on. And then finally, all of a sudden, when he found out we weren't gonna kick Precise off the show, and that Hamed wasn't gonna get his way, he said, I'm gonna go. Bunch of drama. Listen, you're gonna leave. I don't want a fucking sermon. I don't want an essay about why you're leaving, and you know, just leave. All right. Finally, he left. Then he started complaining that Michael Stott, who we're gonna get to after we're done with this whole Hamed thing, he started complaining about how Stott is attacking me. Why don't you guys tell him to stop? I'm like, hey, people come on the show. I'm not their boss. We're not their boss. We don't have dominion over what they do. You handle your... And Bucho told him, you handle your own fucking problems. Then, like you said, Hamed wasn't going to talk about us. And he told us, I would appreciate it if you don't mention me on the show. Fine. Then he goes on Cameron's show. And I was listening. The show is no longer available. It's Cameron didn't leave it up. But I remember I was listening to Hamed, and Hamed asked Cameron, he says, are you going to do shows during the fights? And Cameron says, well, I don't know, you know, and besides, there's people who do podcasts already, so I don't want a conflict of interest, whatever. And then Hamed goes, well, no, you shouldn't let that stop you. You shouldn't just stop it for that reason. Like, in other words, he wants to go on the show. So he wants Cameron to do his show so he can finally fucking talk nonstop for 25 minutes, right? But Cameron decided all of a sudden that he's got other things going on, and he didn't continue with the show. He hasn't continued with the show so far. So now Hamed is MIA, but he's still out there on YouTube land trying to sabotage our show. Like Bucho said, he tried to get Stu to stop coming to the show. He doesn't want Boxing IQ to come in. And every time we call him out on it, he goes, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. Like that's not... He backtracked, but he's a malicious person. He's a two-faced...
He apologized yesterday, and then he went out of it again. Like, he's a fucking schizophrenic,
listen,
man.
Hamed, you're never coming back. Hamed, you're never coming back on the show. And if I want to talk about you, I'm going to talk about you.
He kept calling me a boxing voice reject, and I went, yeah, fair enough, you're a BDA reject, so do you know what I mean?
That's even worse.
It's just pathetic. And you know, I just... What?
I said that's even worse, being a BDA reject.
Guys, almost everybody is stuttering. I don't know if it's just me, but almost everybody's cutting off somehow.
Well, I think on the YouTube people are listening pretty well. Did you just hear everything I said, or did I cut off there?
I did.
No, I heard you.
All right, listen. What I'm saying here about Hamed is he's trying to ruin the show. Let me tell you something. I can ruin the show myself, all right? I don't need your help to do it. So please, stay away from BDA Boxing. You're not coming back. We're going to talk about you. You can talk about us if you want as well. But if I do feel like talking about you, we're going to talk about you. Although I do hope...
send me a message on Twitter saying, like, oh, look, he's racist. Like, what the fuck? He shows me a screenshot. Like, fuck, he's not obsessed about BDA Boxing. Like, give me a break.
Listen, in case people...
He called me and Butcho racist Islamophobes. So lost as soon as he was losing the argument, and we was telling him some home truths about himself. He had to bring out the Islamophobe card. That reminds me of someone else that we've had a problem with in the chat.
Oh yeah,
that's had to be blocked.
Oh, we'll get
by the way,
you know what I mean?
Stott, congratulations! You're the first person to get blocked completely from BDA Boxing because you are just a creep. All right, there's something wrong with you. I'm pretty sure I'm not the first person to say it.
I told you boys months ago. I told you I'm a good judge of character.
Absolutely, Stu. Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, that's one of my faults. It takes me a while to read people, especially on the internet, you know, where you don't fucking play it. By the way, this guy comes in. He starts. He said he just wanted attention. All right, so he comes in here and he starts talking about this and that. He starts being obnoxious. We all know the story would happen. I don't want to go through it. But he was last time. Listen, I'll leave you on the chat. Like even Low Place is in the chat right now talking shit. Fine, that's okay. But when it's
saying BDA equals no loyalty.
Yeah, but when it's nonstop, and he just ruining the show, that's when I finally said, you know what, you're out, man. I mean, I got no fucking time for your BS. All right. He started sabotaging the show. He brought a couple of friends over, I think, during the podcast in the chat, trying to round up people to go to his show. Listen, if I'm not saying.
Yeah.
There's no. I'm not asking people to stay just on this show and not to go to any other show. If any of you ever feel like you want to go on Stott's show, or whatever, that's fine. But the fact that he's trying to.
Well, I said about his show.
Right.
Sorry, go on, BNA. Sorry for interrupting, bro.
Well, just last thing. Just based the fact that he was trying to sabotage the show. If you guys don't know you guys don't see what's going on behind the scenes, but I've seen a lot of people trying to sabotage this show, Stott included. He did it last episode. He was trying to downplay the show. He was making fun of everybody. He thinks he knows it all. Well, you got your own YouTube channel. How about you take us to school, man? Make videos, take us to school, and see how that works.
I called it. I called him. I went to his page and said, "Oh, by the way, you've been blocked." And that's what you get for being a toxic heathen. And that's what he is. He's a toxic heathen. I mean, he was telling me about recognize. He was saying that he goes, look, I said, look, I go, forget the channel idea, bro. You just haven't got it. You're not cut for the job. And he's like, oh, well, when I get the team back, we're going to go places like Precise and Recognize. We was the original team. I went, well, fuck me. I can't remember that. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
so he's deluded.
I've been on the show since maybe January time, and maybe even before that. I think it was around that time. And I think the whole panel, apart from a few guys, has been the same panel since. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been any change.
Like I said, the guy's deluded. I mean, he says he founded the, was it the YTBC show? Yeah. He said he founded that. So everyone that uses the YTBC, we can thank Michael Stutt for thinking of that way. I mean, do you know what I mean? What fucking planet is this guy?
I've been on the YTBC for a long time, not doing content, not creating content, just listening. And I know Stu, and I don't know who the fuck this guy is. Stutt. I mean, I know Thunderdome. I know these other people. Precise.
This is the only guy. Yeah. This guy, right? He's lost subscribers since I last checked. So where is his channel going? The thing is, he wanted to use this show to build his base and then to do his own thing. He was trying to tell BDA and Butcho how to run a show. But then when you go on his channel, he just stares at the camera with fucking Tupac in the background. I mean,
and we appreciate feedback, by the way, but this guy's just doing it on the chat and writing in front of everybody. It's like, guys, send us a private message. You know, you want to help us out? That's
like
okay.
I said,
fuck, man.
We can understand if you've got something to bring to the table, then yeah, anyone who's got a good idea, fucking jump aboard with the idea, man. We always want good ideas, don't we? So we can make the fucking show better. But what ideas is this guy coming out with? He's just being toxic to everyone in the chat. Anyone that said something on the hangout that he didn't agree with, he'd be fucking running them down and sitting there smirking and emoji faces and all. I just don't. He's a wrong one, mate. From the minute I saw him, I thought that. Yeah, well, we'll talk in a minute. Apology. What apology's always trying to tell us what to talk about.
Listen, right? I'm just saying you don't need to go on about Michael Scott all the time. Let's just move on.
Apology, man. You just come on the show, man. We're already talking about this, man. Sit down.
I
and
lost
listen.
respect for a lot of people.
Oh, listen, man. We were always talking about this before, man. Apology. You just come
This
to
is
the
the
show.
problem. This is the problem we've got. It's hard to do a show when everything you talk about, you got someone saying change the subject, change the subject. So fucking hell. Like I said, we were talking about Hamid about 5 minutes ago. Apology. You've just come on, and unfortunately, you've come on to the Michael stop bit. So you're just bad timing, bro.
Yeah, but I still want to hear about it over and over again. But go ahead, man.
Oh man.
Well, let me tell you this. I'll lay out the rules, the ground rules for anybody that's not aware. We give people here as much leeway as they want, both on the Hangout and on the chat. As long as you don't spam the goddamn chat room or the Hangout show, we're gonna get along just fine. If you try to sabotage it, underhanded tactics, you know, talking behind our back, trying to ruin the show, trying to sabotage it via non-stop negativity in the chat, your ass is gone. I tried for about 12 months, Butcher and myself, we tried never to ban anybody. Little by little, we had to weed some of the undesirables out. But we're gonna start pulling the trigger, you know, pushing the button with less hesitation nowadays, because we do have a good thing going here. We don't want people who are off the wall ruining it. It's just not gonna happen. And like I said, Stott, he's completely blocked.
This is what we're talking about.
Right,
Stott, this is what we're talking about. And Michael Stott's one of them. So unfortunately, I know you don't like his name being mentioned, but he's one of the main culprits. So his name's going to come up.
Was that apology?
He's blocked.
Oh, okay.
He's blocked
completely from Hangouts. I don't even know what he's doing.
To be blocked on BDA.
That's right.
He's been completely blocked from the channel, was he? Now I wonder why he wasn't in the chat.
Yeah,
and the chat as well. Yeah, Hangouts, everything. He's the first guy. That's what we was talking about.
I mean, it's not difficult to make another name, is it, and troll on another name? But
well, he could, but he would get. He could. He's gonna.
That, but it's not going to help him build his channel, is it?
No, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Listen, if you want to spam nonstop,
what show are we talking about here, though? I mean,
that's a good point. Yeah, what show are we talking about? I mean,
videos, though. He just does his own videos, right?
Well, that's essentially, that's pretty much what he's doing over there.
But like I said, he brought it on himself. So like you said, he's forgot about now. We won't hear from him again, thank God. And let's talk about some boxing. Fuck it.
Yeah, that was we just wanted to, because I know people are going to be asking and all that. Just wanted to lay down.
Yeah, of course we did.
Just lay the groundwork for what happened. We're trying to have a good time here. We don't want people off the wall, non-stop talking, you know, thinking that they're the messiahs of boxing, or thinking that they're masters and that they're going to set us straight, they're going to take us to school. Just, it's boxing. But when it delves into non-boxing, underhanded tactics, backstabbing, yeah, there's a limit right there, you know? And we invite
I see extremist views as well. I mean, I know I've got some extremist views. A lot of it's tongue-in-cheek. I'm not a sort of guy that's going to go and take my views and go and take it out on someone. But the way he talks about Jews, you know what I mean?
It's non-stop with the guy. It's non-stop. It's, I mean, now that he's blocked, he's probably going to say we're Jews. I mean, listen, the guy's all over the place, man. He
called me a Jew. He called me a Jew, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't Muslims hate Jews? So it would make sense.
That's how you end the conversation. You just say, don't worry, he's a Jew.
Right.
Who's it? I think Butcho said it. What was it? He'd fucking blame the Jew if his burger wasn't cooked properly or something. Was it?
I think I disagreed with somebody. He was like, yeah, he's a Jew.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably. Listen, again, I know some of you guys know the guy through YouTube and all that. You know, fine. Keep talking to the guy. That's no problem with that. But all right, somebody's cell phone is ringing? Cameron, your cell phone is ringing.
Sorry, man. I didn't realize I was on mute. Sorry.
Is it the girl calling you back?
No, it's my mate.
Okay. Couldn't get enough. What's his name? Couldn't get enough Cameron. All right, listen. So we got that out of the way. Just to let you know, we here at BDA, we do try to give everybody a chance to speak. But if you're insane or just trying to profit of the show, trying to use it as a springboard, and you don't bring anything, or you're disrupting the show, we're gonna kick you out. That's about it. Fuck that. Listen, we tried not to kick anybody.
Subject, man. Introduce Precise, so maybe he has something to say about this.
Dependent upon how you interpret The data.
What's up with all the transvestites in Hollywood, though? Because if you're a postmodernist and you don't have any standards, you're always going to keep moving the goalpost, and you're never going to stick to your own standards because you don't have any standards.
All right. All right, yeah, let's introduce Precise. Let's change the subject a little bit here. Precise, thank you for being on. Always appreciate
What's up,
you being
everybody?
here. Not much, man. Not much. Well, actually, do you want to mention something about what we're talking about, or?
Nah. So over it. Come on,
Yeah,
let's move on.
All right, let's move on. I was asking people for their predictions, all right, for this coming Saturday's fight between Jeff Horn and, of course, Terence Crawford. So let's start with, Stu, I wanted to ask you, but then you went right into it. Who are you picking for Jeff Horn and Terence Crawford?
Well, you've got to look to be picking Terence Crawford, really, if you're going to use your brain. But you just never know in boxing. I mean, Jeff Horn's a tough, rugged guy, man. He could rough Crawford. It depends where. I mean, Crawford could make this really boring, and that's what I'm worried about. Where he does what he did against Postal and stink the fucking joint out and just nick it on points. But if he goes to fight Horn, it could get exciting, and he could leave himself. I mean, he's a hard man to hit clean, Crawford, but he has been hit clean before, and he's been hurt before by smaller guys than Jeff Horn with a lot less strength and a lot less power. So if Jeff Horn catches him on the button, or you never know, or Jeff Horn starts taking him to deep waters and testing his heart, then he could have a chance. But I'm going to have to go my head and say Terence Crawford by points decision.
All right, unanimous or?
Oh yeah, unanimous decision.
Or undisputed decision?
Unanimous decision.
All right, unanimous decision. Do you wish to add a disclaimer to that? Do you want to say it's going to be a boring decision, lackluster?
It's guesswork. The thing is, Crawford might, if Jeff Horn can make Crawford fight, and we've got a good fight. It depends if Jeff Horn lets Crawford fight at his own pace and just follows him around the ring, and then we could be in for a very, very boring night. But it depends if Jeff Horn can get Crawford to fight.
Okay. Let's go with. All right, so I got recognized. Let's go with Precise. Precise, do you want to make your prediction now?
Sure. I mean, I agree with Stu. You have to go with Terence. But that being said, I think it's a difficult fight to predict as far as how it all plays out, because there's a lot of things that we just don't know. For example, Jeff Horn's been struggling at the weight for a while now, and Crawford, whether it was inadvertent or deliberate, I don't know, but Crawford and his team have been really fucking with Jeff Horn's preparations for this fight. And someone who really struggles to make weight, they have everything planned out. They start doing it months ahead of time, and with the postponement and all this stuff that's been going on, I think Jeff Horn might be physically affected. Then there's the whole glove controversy, which in a way is a whole bunch of bullshit. But Horn is being forced to use the types of gloves he's never used before. So, it's something. On top of that, obviously we know what the script is. We know who is supposed to win this fight. We know they're going to do everything to protect Terence Crawford, as they have so far. And, Terence Crawford's brother is refereeing the fight, so you tell me who wins.
What do you mean by the brother? Oh, you mean are you saying?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. So hold on. So no matter what Terence Crawford does, you're not gonna see this as a real win, then?
No, I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I think it's difficult to predict because. Look, we know what the script is. We could sit here, try to analyze the fight and say this and that, but Terence Crawford's been very much protected, okay? Whether people want to admit it or not, they kept him away from Pacquiao for as long as possible, and they found a roundabout way to give him Pacquiao's title, because most people would agree Terence Horn did not beat Pacquiao, and if that's the fight you really want to make, why are you robbing Pacquiao? That doesn't make any sense, right? And now you got Pacquiao mysteriously saying no to the rematch, and Terrence is fighting for Pacquiao's old title. And look, Terrence Crawford's been protected like a lot of Bob Arum's prospects that he's not too sure about, and just having the fight in. Look, Jeff Horn is the champion. They pulled 50,000 people. Granted, it was against Pacquiao, but they made a lot of money in Australia. I think it would, it would make a lot of sense for them to fight in Australia. Obviously not for Terrence Crawford, but just the fact that they're bringing the champion to Vegas, the most corrupt jurisdiction in the United States, fucking with this training camp, the whole gloves thing, saying, bringing to everyone's attention the fact that Horn is a dirty fighter, and I don't have a problem with that because he is. But they're already setting a stage for a Terrence Crawford win, so you have to go with Terrence, right? Because that Horn is not going to be the same Horn that fought Pacquiao for a variety of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So, but at the same time, look, if this fight were fought on a level playing field, or even better yet, in Australia, where Jeff Horn you'd have to give him the advantage, I think it's a very interesting, very dangerous fight for Terrence Crawford. But because Jeff Horn is going to be undermined in more ways than one, I think we're going to get a pretty entertaining fight. But the safe bet is Terrence Crawford wins this by hook or by crook. He gets the win because that's the plan. Jeff Horn is expendable, and it is what it is, man. I don't know if there's too much to analyze here, but I do think Jeff Horn has the ability, the trickiness, and the slickness. Well, he's not very slick. He's just dirty, straight up and down dirty. But I think he has what it takes to give Terrence Crawford quite a few problems and force him to fight.
Mm-hmm. By the way, John Gonzalez says, Horn's wife against Crawford's wife. Who wins that fight? That's a difficult one to predict. But by the way, Precise, I wrote your prediction down as Crawford by hook or by crook. I like that. So
that's it.
I wrote that one down. Apology. How about you, man?
I'm sorry. Let me just say one more thing.
Yes.
I got to bounce off for a little bit. I'm going to come back later on. And I don't know. Hopefully that troll that wanted a piece of me shows up sooner or later, but I'm just going to be listening to you guys, and maybe don't address me because your cries are going to fall on deaf ears.
All right, Precise, thanks for being on, and we'll see if we're still around. Do try to come back to add your insight into whatever else we're talking about. So there you have it. That was Precise predictions. Apology. How about you, man? Who are you picking for this Saturday?
Probably Crawford. I mean, he's the home fighter. He's the in-house fighter that everyone wants to win. So he's probably going to win by decision. But I do see Jeff Horn hurting Crawford because Crawford's chin is suspect. I mean, Gamboa, a blown up flat featherweight, hurt him. So I'd see Jeff Horn hurting him and roughing him up in the inside. Because Jeff Horn's a big guy, like Precise said, he's been struggling with the weight, so at the very least they'll be about the same size. So I do see him roughing him up and inside and probably hurting Crawford.
So you're picking Crawford by
a decision.
Decision, but you think that he can actually get hurt in this one, or
yeah, and maybe even knocked down.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna write Crawford decision. Horn probably hurts him or drops him. All right, got that down. And by the way, we got special guest 100% X also in the hangout. I suppose he wants to give us his prediction as well. X, are you there?
My brother BDA, what's going on?
Everything's good. Everything's good. X, thanks for being on. Always glad to have you on, even though I'm a little bit frightened of you. We've been dealing with.
Don't worry, I've calmed things down. I've been through a lot of shit lately. Can I say shit?
Yeah, you can. Well, yeah. Try not to swear, but I know you're from a difficult background, and that's the way they talk down there on the streets, right?
Yeah, something like that. It always comes down to curse words. But I'm hearing a lot of excuses. First of all, let me tell you what's going to happen.
All right.
Okay. I don't care what Precise says. I don't care what Recognize that fucking devil says. I don't care what anybody says. My brother TC is going to win by knockout. I'm gonna tell you why.
What's going on, brother?
My brother Cameron, I heard about your situation. I got everything handled. I got a couple of girls on deck.
Appreciate it, brother.
So you ain't gotta worry about nothing.
Hey, Cameron.
Appreciate it, bro.
Hey, Cameron.
Yeah.
Remember what I told you, brother? You talk a man with experience. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, man.
That man with experience would be me, not Stu. Don't listen to Stu. Stu's the devil.
Crack a devil.
You the devil. And let me just say this. Terrence Crawford's going to win by knockout. The reason why he's going to win by knockout is because he's hit his prime years. He's in his prime. Undestructible. Nobody could beat him. Except Errol Spence. Maybe.
Oh, wait a minute. Here's my thing. If Crawford looks bad, right, or he gets dropped like Apology Man said or whatever, are you going to throw him under the bus and then just stay on the Errol Spence bandwagon, or are you going to stay loyal and say, all right, it was just a difficult fight, it happens, and Terrence Crawford is still the man?
Nah, BDA. I'll be able to connect the dots. If that white devil drops my brother, I know they poisoned Terrence Crawford. That's what I know. Okay? I know how things happen. I know how to connect the dots. All right? You're telling me this white devil can knock down Terrence Crawford, it ain't happening.
All right, X. So you're saying that if the fight is legit, there's no way that Horn can win this fight?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right, now
Terrence Crawford's time.
Well, now here's the thing. Some people are saying, like Precise said, he thinks that it's Terrence Crawford who's got everything swaying his way when it comes to the promotion and the referee and the promoter. You're saying it's the opposite. You're saying it's Horn who might just be coming in with some backup.
Well, he's down with white supremacy, so is Precise. He's down with white supremacy too. So I don't care what Precise has to say or recognize or anybody has to say. The truth is, everything's against my brother Terrence Crawford, and he's gonna go against the odds, and he's gonna win. That's what's gonna happen.
All right. So X, I have your prediction here. I wrote brother Crawford wins by KO.
That's it. KO.
All right.
It's gonna happen from the first round to the 12th round. I don't know what round, but it's gonna happen.
And by the way, if I see you saying during the fight that you have Crawford up by 15 points and it's only the 5th round, then that means you see that fight going that way. Then at that point, you're gonna be seeing Crawford dominating by about, I don't know, 15, 20 points.
You know, I always tell the truth. My ass
absolutely, yeah.
Acting up right now. I don't lie. The one thing I don't do is lie.
That's right. And you always
X. It's good to hear from you again, brother. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you guys too. Just keep that recognized away from me, and I gotta get out of here because my acid reflux is starting to kill me.
Oh, but by the way, Mr. Coxie, one last question for X. Mr. Coxie wants to know: so you're saying TKO or KO?
It'll be it could go either way. The referee could feel bad for Jeff Horn. You understand what I'm saying? He could say, "Oh, I know what's gonna happen here. This cracker's about to get knocked out, so let me just stop the fight." Or he could just knock him out. Okay, one of the two. So okay. I'm not gonna say KO or TKO. I'm saying my brother's gonna win by knockout, TKO, whatever.
All right. And somebody in the chat said, if you want to help with your acid reflux, stop drinking that chocolate mooch. All right. So that's their advice to you. Stop drinking that chocolate mooch. That dairy is not good.
It's a white man disease, isn't it?
It is a white man's disease.
Yeah.
I never had this problem. I never had it till the white man started coming after me.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Well, there you go. And by the way,
the white man.
X is never wrong. He keeps saying it all the time that he's always right. I mean, nobody insane would ever say that they're always right? So good for X to come on here. He knows what he's talking about. He's the master of boxing. He's gonna set boxing right all through YouTube.
I'm the master of chaos.
The master of chaos. That makes no sense. All right, listen, X. Thank you for being on. Always appreciate your input, and I hope you lead a safe day and try to stay away from trouble. All right.
Well, thank you, BDA. I just want to say peace to my brother BDA, peace to Bucho, my brother, peace to Cameron, my brother, and I just want to say fuck recognize and Apology Man, bring it. What's up, Apology Man? You want to go at it? Let's go at it.
Take it easy, X. Take it easy, my brother.
All right, brother. Peace.
Well, there you have it, guys. The one, the only 100% X always keeps it real. He's going to do some big things here on YouTube. Let me tell you, he's going to make a difference in the world. just through YouTube alone.
I mean, YouTube really needs another Dante's Boxing Nation, doesn't it?
There's never enough, man. Let me tell you, there's never enough.
Well, actually, he makes 78 Sports TV fucking look normal. So that should be fun if he has he got his channel X.
Yeah, he still has his channel. We always leave the description
I'll have
in
to
the.
try and find that. Well, I ain't seen it yet. So.
Yeah, we always put the link on the description there of the podcast.
I don't never check the descriptions. I'll have to start doing that.
See, that's because you don't care about BDA. You just want to come in here, say what you got to say.
Yeah, all right. I'll watch all the videos. Shut up, man.
Yeah, all right. But all right, yeah. So we got a bunch of things out of the way. We got some boxing, a little bit of drama out of the way as well. So let's get back into the boxing. Here's the thing. They beat Benavidez. He says, Gilberto Ramirez's trainer say they want to fight Benavidez. Is this a bad plan? Is this a bad idea? Could this end bad for Ramirez? What do you guys think?
That's a very good fight. That's the sort of fights I want to see Ramirez in. I said it earlier. I mean, I got a lot of stick from Precise about it, but this guy needs to step up. Who the fuck's this guy fighting, man? You know, and this guy is a talent. Don't get me wrong. Ramirez is a dangerous guy. Simple as. But when you look at his record, it's piss poor. You know, there's no proof in the pudding that this guy is the best in the division. People want to call this guy the best in the division by beating who? So we need to see this guy step up. He's been around a while now. He's got the so-called best promoter in boxing. There's no excuses. Benavidez is a good start. Definitely. I'll definitely want to see that fight. Do you?
Well, I don't know. Listen, is this... I'm going to ask other people as well, but let me just say this. You're saying it's a good start. It could be the end as well, because...
Then he's not good enough then, bro. This, you know, I've had all these people telling me he's the best in the division, you know, and he would have won that Super Six and not Super Six, the World Boxing Series. He'd have won it. And so if he can't get through Benavidez, then that proves what everyone's been saying about him was wrong.
Right.
So, doesn't it? So we'll know where he is. If he loses to Benavidez in style, then he can forget about the other guys at the top. So that's just the way I see it.
All right, I get you. You make a good point that if he's gonna be talking about how he's the best, and by the way, if you look at the super middleweight rankings according to Ring Magazine, they have Ramirez at #1. Now I know it's a thin division. No, sorry, they have him at number two. I know it's a bit of a weak division, or it's just now starting to get reorganized or a little bit solidified. But come on, Ramirez #2. I do have to agree with Stu on that one. I don't think the guy's fought anybody to be considered #2. What does everybody else think about Ramirez Benavidez? Good fight. Do you agree with Stu that if Ramirez can't step up, then that means he was never ever good enough? What do you think? Come on, anybody. I see.
Well, he has to fight somebody that I agree with. I mean, I don't think anybody disagrees with Stu. I mean, he's not proven yet. Maybe he passed the eye test, but that's pretty much it. Now he has to fight other fighters. Benavidez is a good fight, but I think Benavidez is with the PBC, so I don't know how that would work. But definitely that's a good fight.
Yeah, but that begs the question why they're even bringing Benavidez up in the first place.
We've seen Top Rank. We've seen Top Rank and PBC do business before. We've seen them do business before, so I don't see a problem with that. It's not like they're the stars of PBC and Top Rank where they have to, you know, keep them away from certain promotions. That fight can be made.
I hope so, because it would be a good fight on paper. But listen, I'm not saying I'm not saying that one loss is the end of the world. But it is for a young guy who's undefeated. It could be sometimes, you know, mentally, especially since Benavidez might be the type of guy that can lay a beating down on Ramirez because of his mix. Because look, Benavidez, was that?
Yeah, definitely, I agree with you.
Now, who do you guys think hits harder? Let's just looking at power, who hits harder, Ramirez or Benavidez?
Yeah, it's a tough one for me, bro. They both hit quite hard, don't they?
I think, man, I think I would have to go with Benavidez because he's got that extra element, which is the hand speed. Yeah.
But Ramirez also brings decent power with good accuracy as well. So it depends. If it was to sit and punch one of them, you know, when you go to the fair and you fucking punch one of them balls and it tells you how much pressure you put in the punch. I think Benavidez would probably win that competition, but sometimes the guy with the hardest punch is not always the cleaner puncher or the better knockout artist, if you get what I'm saying. So it's a tough one for me. For me, it's a 50-50 fight. I don't know about you. What do you think?
I think Benavidez with his hand speed, and listen, I know some people are gonna look at the Benavidez' last fight against Ronald Gavril. Gavril is a very tough guy, but you saw what happened in the rematch. Benavidez came in shape. He wasn't fucking around anymore. He tried to put it on Gavril, couldn't take him out, but that doesn't mean that the guy doesn't hit hard. He's very relaxed in there, good defense, extremely tall for his weight. He goes to the body very well for a tall guy. I don't see Ramirez getting out of the ring with a win. I just don't. I think Benavidez is very good, top quality, top quality, and I think Ramirez should stay away. But at some point, he has to step it up. And with Top Rank right now, listen, let's put up the rankings here. I'm going to put the rankings up on the screen, according to Ring Magazine.
And if he does step up BDA and wins this, then he's going to be making a lot of noise in that division. Do you know what I mean? So it can turn him into a big star. He's a Mexican as well, so it's only going to help his popularity. And Benavidez is, like I said, you've got to fight the best. If you want to be any sport, you've got to be thriving to fight the best. Like a tennis player, he wants to play Djokovic and Federer. He doesn't want to play some bum ranked 1,000 in the world. You want to play the best, don't you? And that's how boxers should be. You should be, let's get a Deontay Wilder record. That doesn't mean anything. Look at Wilder. The guy's had 40 fights, no promotion, barely makes $1.5 million a fight, and he's the heavyweight champion of the world from America. So, you know what I mean? You've got to start stepping up early. The days of these Deontay Wilder records, I think they're over. You've got to start stepping your guys up quite early now. There's boxing fans are unforgiving. We don't fall for the bullshit anymore. The cherry picks. We call it out for what it is, and we hit the promoters on their Twitter page about it. So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, listen.
So I didn't hear what Apology said something, but I didn't hear what he said. Oh,
Apology. Did you say something? I did hear a muffled sound.
No, I was talking to someone else.
He was talking to somebody else. He was talking to himself in the mirror. Like a nut job. No, I'm kidding. Listen. Ramirez is 26. At what point, I know that's not the oldest fighter in the world, but at what point does he want to step it up? Because his next opponent is a guy named Romer Alexis Angulo. Romer. So in Spanish, that would be Romer or something like that. He's 23-0 with 20 knockouts. Wow, you say, right? That's a pretty glossy record. But these Colombian guys never fight anybody. And let's look at his record. Everett Bravo, 24-7. Rolando Gonzalo Mancilla, 13-3-1. Valerio Marte, 6-19 losses. I mean, let's say he punches hard. Let's say this Colombian guy punches hard. What's the point? We already know Gilberto Ramirez is probably more skilled than him. Is it because there's nobody out there for him to fight? Is that what's going on here? Is it because there's nobody? Yeah.
Well, always back. Come on, Precise.
Look, I think my points about Ramirez have been misinterpreted, but that's okay. I'm gonna try again anyway. I see him constantly calling somebody out. Uzcategui, Benavidez, two of the probably most dangerous guys in the division outside of George Groves, who's tied up at the moment, and he called him out as well. And I don't see anybody calling out Ramirez. And the reason why that is because he's not very well known. He could stink out the joint, and he's a very difficult style for anybody. Now, as far as he and Benavidez, I think it's a good fight, but I don't think Benavidez's handlers are going to go for that. I might be wrong, but it's a terrible style for Mr. Flat-footed. It's all fine and good if you stand in front of him. He's going to dazzle you with them fast hands, and he does have good defense, rolls punches well. But you start giving him some movement, and we might see a completely different fighter in there. That's all I'm saying. But I don't think the problem is Ramirez not wanting to fight people, and the division obviously need to sort this shit out, the whole division. I think the problem is his lack of marketability and a very difficult style to deal with. A lot of fighters have had this issue, and he just suffers from that kind of a curse, right? He doesn't bring any money. Basically he's high risk, low reward. That's it.
All right. Well, there you have it. Apparently he has been calling people out. It's just that nobody wants to.
If Benavidez don't take that fight, then I'll get off his back. Because if he's calling out Benavidez and Benavidez turns it down, then you can't blame Ramirez for that, and I'll get off his back. But right now, I've not seen any good names.
Out Triple G. You don't see people calling out Triple G. He said he wanted that fight. They've been trying to get that fight. It doesn't make sense because Triple G's got business.
Triple G still.
But just judging him, you know, I think you've misjudged his character. I agree with you. He has to fight somebody, no doubt about it. But I don't think he's the problem here. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you might be right.
And as far as ratings go, I would have George Groves, then I would have Uzcategui, and then I would have Ramirez. But that's just me.
You might be right, bro. But you know, you could have a point. I don't know the ends of that. All I see is I look at his record. I look how he fights. And I see all these people telling me he's the best in the division. But then I've got to have some sort of proof. When he's knocking out a bum, it doesn't mean anything to me. Now, I know he might be avoided, but Golovkin's an avoided fighter, but he's still got good names on his resume. Lomachenko, one of the most avoided fighters in boxing, still has great names. So these fights count. It's not like Ramirez is some monster that no one wants to fight. Someone will fight him if the money's right. So,
but Golovkin and Loma, they pay well for their respective divisions.
Of course they do.
Guys.
That's what I'm saying about Ramirez. Bob's got to start putting his hand in his pockets and move this kid along. I mean, you know, if this guy's the best promoter,
I think it's happen. I think it's going to happen soon.
He has to, bro. Has to.
The whole division, except George Groves, is the only one that's really proven himself. You know what I mean? So. The whole division, they gotta figure shit out. Basically, I think at this point in time, everybody's guilty, in my opinion. Until people start ducking, I'm not blaming anyone except everybody.
James DeGale would be an easy fight for Ramirez to make. Because say we like about James DeGale, he'll fight anybody. I know he's shot to pieces, but it's still a good name on the resume. It's still, oh, well, Ramirez beat DeGale. That's a good, decent name, sort of thing. Ex-world champion, gold medalist. It looks good on the resume. That'd be a good fight for him to take if Benavidez don't take it. But he needs to fight someone, bro.
I apologize. I forgot about James DeGale. If he's been doing one thing, that's fighting everybody. Now, he's been sucking, so I can't rate him very highly, but he's definitely been putting in work. So I give him props for that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it would make sense if it's true that Ramirez is calling people out and then nobody's fighting him. It would make sense since there's not that many top-ranked super middleweights out there. Most of them are either aligned with the PBC or fighting in Europe. So, listen, eventually all big fights end up getting made. So, let's see what happens with Ramirez. He certainly has a fighting spirit. I haven't really been all that impressed with his performances inside the ring, but you never know. He's 26 years old. He could be improving. So let's see what happens there. But you guys brought up James DeGale. Now, here's something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. But for a long time, we were talking a lot about James DeGale, so I wanted to let it rest a little bit, but now I think it's a good time to bring it back. What the hell happened to James DeGale? What beating did he take that ended up leaving him the way he is? Because Caleb Truax, he gave him a very tough fight in the second fight. What happened there? Is Truax better than expected?
Even when DeGale was at his best, he was taking monster shots on a regular basis. He sits on the ropes and lets people fucking bash his head around for 20 seconds at a time. That's not good for your health, for a start. He's been hurt numerous times. He's had his teeth knocked out. He's been cut. He's been butted. I mean, where do we finish? You know, when you keep taking abuse to the face and the head, it starts to take its toll on any fighter, bro.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Apology, you want to say something?
Yeah, the Badou Jack fight was the fight for me that he took the most bouncing.
Sorry, bro. It was a little hard to hear.
He said the Badou Jack fight was the one what he took a lot of punishment in, but I think he was on a downward spiral before that fight, bro. That's what.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
he didn't look good against Porky Medina either. He was taking shots he shouldn't have.
Let's be real. We nearly threw it away against DeGale. He had DeGale all over the place on Queer Street, and he nearly threw it away. That's what he does. He has so many breathers. I mean, fuck me. I'll tell you what, he wouldn't be very good at underwater. The amount of fucking the amount of breathers he takes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a bit. against, like, you know, Apology Man brought up the Badu Jack fight, that the last 3 rounds were very tough for Andrew Dirrell. But even the Porky, like he said, the Porky Medina fight was supposed to be an easy one. And then again, Porky Medina was looking at his body. He was probably on something because he never looked that good before. But then again, we're not talking about that. We're talking about what happened to James DeGale. Because listen, Caleb Truax was beaten by Jermaine Taylor. One of the Dirrells, I think Anthony Dirrell, also took him out, stopped him. Daniel Jacobs stopped him. Then all of a sudden, James DeGale shows up and he can't do anything. Even the second fight, I mean, it was a very sloppy fight. People, I know you guys were complaining about it the day after it happened, the rematch, and how it wasn't a good performance by either really guy. But James DeGale, you have to wonder, gold medalist, man. It just goes to show you sometimes.
He stopped throwing combination punches. The thing with James DeGale, he had a very awkward style. He threw punches from funny angles, like bolo shots, a lot of them, and just strange angles that come from. They were very slappy punches. But when you're getting caught with 3 or 4, it's going to take its toll. But he throws single shots now. He'll throw a single shot and then lunge in and get into the hold, and then get beat up inside because he's got no inside game. Badu Jack was beating him up in the inside. Do you know what I mean? It's just that's his problem, where he was throwing combinations and getting their respect. And now these single punches that he's throwing, there's just not enough pop on them to get the respect from the opponent, and they're just walking through his shots and throwing their own. I mean, you've only got to look at James DeGale. Go watch every picture of his face after a fight. He could fight a fucking 80-year-old woman. You can guarantee after the fight he looks like he's been in there with Tyson. Do you know what I mean?
By the way, you brought up the point about pull up any picture. You bet your ass I'm going to pull a picture. Every time we mention James DeGale, I have to bring out that famous picture that for a while was on the front page of Google every time you brought up his name. There it is, right there for everybody to see. They used a telephoto lens or something so that his forehead looks about 2 times bigger than it actually is, and he's got 2 missing teeth. He looks like a guy he looks like one of those guys that they kick out of the Starbucks because they want to use the bathroom. I mean, this guy, and listen, we were talking about him taking shots. You made a very good points too about his combination punching dwindling, which allows fighters to stay on the inside. And it's probably not a good idea. If you're going to stop throwing punches, it's probably not a good idea to stand in front of a fighter with your hands down, which is what DeGale has done throughout most of his career.
Yep, you're spot on, bro. Not a lot to add to that.
And by the way, let's not forget that Lucian Bute fight. That's another fight where he took a lot of punishment. He took
punishment he doesn't need to take. Punishment. He's the sort of guy that has the fight in his hands, and it starts just slipping out of his fingers gradually as the rounds go on, and before you know it, he's the one that's hanging on. Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous how he loses controls of a fight. He takes too many breathers, like I said, doesn't let his hands go enough. I think he's so worried about getting hurt when he's throwing his shots. He's gone in his shell a little bit. I mean, the first thing he does is when he, like I said, throws his single shot, is grab and hold. That's not going to win you fights, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he just lets the fight slip away from him. It's bizarre. He's not consistent with his performances inside the ring.
No. By the way, all the fights he's lost, he's let them go, and he nearly let the Dirrell fight go as well. You know, and was it the Porky Medina fight? He nearly let that one go and all, didn't he? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So
he gets by, man. He just gets by.
I know Jim McDonald goes, James is a 15-round fight. 15-round fight. Is he fuck, man? This guy at a 15-round fight, he's a 6-round fighter. Then he's breathing heavily and taking Brown. Fucking breathers. Get the fuck out of here, man.
And let's not forget, we haven't even talked about the George Gross fight, his first loss. Another fight that he, very tentative fight from both guys. He didn't push the pedal. I mean, it was just, he's always been an underachiever for a gold medalist. Let's just put it that way. People in the chat, Antonio Garza says, BDA, that shit was funny. Don't let Magic Johnson hear you saying that about Starbucks. Mr. Cox says, that is the worst picture of any fighter I've ever seen on the net. He's talking about the James DeGale photo. Original Bruno says he looks like a GTA 5 character. The Quack says he looks like a crackhead. And John Gonzalez...
man, Bute was on PDs when he fought DeGale as well. Definitely on something.
You think so?
Yeah, he definitely was, man. Look at yeah, especially, and even when he fought Jack, because you saw what happened when Butte failed a drug test. He went back up to 75. He couldn't make the weight at 68 when he got popped, and he looked shocking against Alvarez. You know what I mean? You know, he started. You know, this is a guy who was looking completely shot. You know, he lost to Froch. You know, he lost to Pacquiao. He looked like he was done. Then all of a sudden he moves back down to 68 and looks amazing. So to speak, you know, he's competing with DeGale, he's competing with Jack, and then he gets popped. I mean, Butte is definitely on something.
Yeah, probably. I mean, if you had to bet, you would have to say that if you know, he didn't start juice. It's interesting because he looked good in the Jack fight. A lot of people didn't think he was gonna look that good in there, and then he got a dubious no contest draw, whatever it was, against Baidu Jack, which was later overturned into a decision win for Jack. I didn't even know about that. But yeah, he listen, if a guy does something, it's good chances that he's done it before or continues to do it. Speaking of that, some people are mentioning why doesn't DeGale go up to 175? How about James DeGale versus Kovalev? How do you think that would go? DeGale versus Kovalev. Anybody want to see that one?
Kovalev will kill another person in the ring.
Man, come on.
Yeah, Kovalev by death.
But guys, Kovalev's been looking bad his last two fights. Come on.
He don't need that in his life.
I would pay for that.
Yeah, because you're a sick fuck, man.
Yeah, that's true.
When you're punch drunk, man, he's the last guy you need to be fighting. Nowhere near strong enough. James DeGale's not strong enough at super middleweight. What's he going to be?
It's just killed at light heavyweight.
Oh, we got to reverse his back.
Also, have you guys noticed his power's gone down as well?
He's not strong enough.
Yeah, Apology said that the power has gone down as well.
Yeah, he's not strong enough at super middleweight, never mind light heavyweight. Yeah,
I agree. I was just asking a question.
He might suffer from hand injuries. He started.
That's a possibility.
Can you imagine like DeGale versus Bivol? Let me see who else. Kovalev. Any one of those guys, they'll kill him, man.
Yeah, he's reached that point where
would murder him in a rematch. I mean, we know that. Bottle Jack will put him in.
Even Beterbiev.
Oh, come on, man! Beterbiev will kill. It will just knock him out. He'll just walk right through him.
Yeah. I know. Can you imagine? He would.
All right, listen. Before we continue,
James DeGale seriously needs to stay away from that light heavyweight division.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's in his best interest to do so, man. He should stay away from that light heavyweight division. By the way, don't forget we just had Jimmy drop into the line.
I had a bad trip at a wedding in Maine, and it was a stormy night, right? I'm on LSD. Oh, I was fucking freaking out. It was horrible. I'll never take it again.
All right, Jimmy.
That's a fucking riot.
That's the best intro.
That is. That's fucking great. What's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
Who you guys talking about in a rematch?
What's going on, man?
We was talking about how DeGale would do at light heavyweight.
James DeGale.
Oh, destroyed. I don't think he'd do very well at all.
Agree. I think he gets murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
his style. Isn't once you start.
Can you remember when he wanted Golovkin? This guy was calling out Golovkin for ages.
Why are we talking about DeGale at 175?
Yeah, he said he'd piece up Golovkin. I mean, that would have been a bad night for him.
Now,
I don't know. I'll cut off, so I don't know why it got mentioned, but I was just getting involved with it.
So was he overrated or what happened? Because I think at some point, I remember you said, "Oh, because the problem with DeGale is he didn't train properly or something." Like, was that the reason, or was he just really like a hype job?
Well, my opinion, that style, his shoulder roll, that poor man Mayweather style he tried.
No, I don't think he's a hype job.
You have to be on top of your game. You have to be in great shape. You have to, it's one thing about Mayweather. Nobody trained as hard as that kid. He did put his time in the gym. And I think that was DeGale's problem. He tasted the money like a lot of them. He just took the edge off him.
Yeah, James got to just try it out.
What was that?
I don't know if I agree with that, Jimmy. I think James DeGale does train. I don't think he's good enough. Can you hear me, boys?
Yeah, I think there's a delay.
He's not as good. And to Jimmy's point, I can hear you, Stu. Go ahead, Stu. Stu, I can hear you fine. Hello.
Oh, sorry, bro. I've got a massive delay. So sorry for interrupting, bro. I'm talking like someone else's.
No, I can hear you, Stuart. I can hear you just fine.
Oh, all right, he dropped. Well, I was waiting for him to reply, but anyways. Go ahead. What were you gonna say? Recognize? Oh, he dropped
too as well.
Jeez. All right, so Jimmy, you were saying something about DeGale? You weren't impressed? The shoulder roll?
Well, no, I just think you know what I mean? Like a lot of the kids his age, were trying to adopt some of that shoulder roll, and I don't know. You just gotta, if you don't, I just don't think he was sharp enough to continue. You know what I mean? Not into his later years. But yeah, no, he wouldn't do well at 178. I was never a big DeGale fan, anyways. You know, although his sister's hot as fuck.
That's what we all.
Always good to his sister.
That's what it comes down to for James DeGale. When we can't talk about what he can do in the ring, let's talk about his sister.
Now, is she married to somebody popular or famous over there in UK?
Can you hear me now, boys?
Yeah.
Oh,
No. Now, give me anyway.
Yeah, but you're breaking up.
Hear me.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm
you.
hearing Stuart fine on my end. I don't know.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna come off.
I hear Stu quite well.
Yeah. Sorry, boys.
Go ahead then.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Man.
I can hear you.
Yeah, his sister's definitely worth.
His sister.
Okay, mate. Crack on. Yeah, his sister's like, yeah, she's all right. I think Floyd Mayweather likes her. That's why he wanted to sign DeGale, because it weren't his ability. Let's be real.
Who is his sister?
Google that and just Google DeGale's sister.
Okay.
But yeah, Floyd is. I mean, we know his style. He goes after every woman he can. He's near his vicinity, so he was definitely after DeGale's sister, man.
Including all his friends' girls.
He's what you call a classic trick. Like,
absolutely.
He's a class. Yeah, he would pay her outright.
Ooh, she's fine.
Yeah, she is good looking. I underrated her one time, and
yeah, I'll tell you.
One thing with Floyd.
One thing with Floyd. If
your connection is bad today, man.
If your girls cheat, then Floyd will expose them. Floyd will expose them. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come off. I'll come back on later.
All right. So yeah, BD is gonna be right back. So, well, guys, you guys want to change the subject or keep talking about DeGale and his sister though? Because listen, I don't think DeGale has any chance at 175. So I think this is a pointless talk.
Hey, can I ask you guys am I the only one? I'm just not that excited about the Pacquiao Matisse fight. I've lost complete interest in Pacquiao since that Mayweather debacle.
Yeah,
I hold him 50% responsible for that thing. I mean, where does it go? If a fight has like nowhere to go, like is either one of them going to be world champ? You know what I mean? Like, is anybody going to be dominant at the welterweight division?
Exactly, Jimmy. No. That's what I said. Like, in another
why bother?
Episode. Exactly. Like, let's look at the scenarios. Though. Okay, let's say Pacquiao wins. Like, what's next? And even if he wins in a dominant fashion, what is Pacquiao now gonna challenge for a world title again? Like, do you guys want to see that?
It's just all about paychecks now. He's a fucking mercenary. It's just all about money now. That's what it's all about. The love of the sport and the legacy left years ago.
Especially when you love, when you can fight the way these guys can fight, and that money's still on the table. I think it's hard to turn down,
And he's got hanger on. As I heard, he's got tons of people on his dime. You know what I mean? Families and fucking businesses that aren't doing well, and he's got everybody in his pocket.
Yeah, but this fight's in Malaysia, right? It's taking place in Malaysia.
In Malaysia, yep.
So I mean, I think it's okay if Pacquiao's doing like a world tour, you know, and then people who never saw him fight now get the chance to see him fight. Then that's fine. But if he thinks that he's gonna, if the plan is for Pacquiao to fight for another world title or something, then you know, I don't think that I don't want to see that again. Because
you know what?
I think he's open to. I think he's open to.
Go ahead, man.
I'll tell you.
No, Pavel, go ahead. That's all I want to say. I said I think that Pacquiao's open to.
Pacquiao should come fight in England,
you know, to be the world lineal champion at whatever.
I think that in terms of Pacquiao, where is he at right now? For me, he's just like a cherry on top. You know, if he does well, that's great. If he doesn't do well, hey, that's fine by me as well. You know, the dude doesn't have to prove anything anymore to anybody.
Yeah, for sure. But it's
now, is this a pay-per-view? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I was just going to ask, is this a pay-per-view also?
I'd like to see Pacquiao
Probably.
to England.
Some of you guys are so unfaithful, man. Excuse the fuck out of me, but I'm gonna rip on some of you guys now. I can understand not being excited about Pacquiao, but let the man do what he wants to do. You know, he's given his fucking blood, sweat, and tears and life to the sport. He basically carried the sport on his shoulders. Let the man do whatever the hell he wants to do. He has, as far as I can remember, never been dominated in the boxing ring. Even in his old age, no one's ever dominated him. No one's ever beaten him up, at least not anymore than he beat them up. So no one's dominated Pacquiao. He's still viable. He might no longer be the best, but fuck it. Let him prove that he isn't, and let some of these young bucks get some shine off Pacquiao. And if Pacquiao Lomachenko happens, man, I love that fight, and I hope it does.
Word.
Well, good point. I mean, yeah. I mean, the guy can do whatever he wants, right? Like that. I don't know. It's like because you don't. When you remember a fighter being in his prime and destroying everyone and being at his best, and then you see another lesser version, it's kind of sad. And you just want the guy to retire.
I understand that position, but I just don't feel that way. You know what I mean? For me, it's like you got to accept it. It happens to everybody. You know, it just happened to James DeGale. Where here we are talking about facetiously, I believe, send him up to 175, where a fucking B-level fighter will murder his ass. You know what I mean? Like compare that to Pacquiao. I understand Pacquiao. You know, he reached great heights, and he's no longer what he used to be. But you might change your mind after this Matisse fight, and if not, so be it. You know what I mean? Let the man do what he will. I'm not telling anybody to get excited about any Pacquiao fight, but I'm not gonna shit on the man either. And me myself, he and Matisse, I'm not geeked for that fight or anything, but I will be an interested observer for damn sure.
Is it like? But would you pay like $100 for it?
I don't pay for boxing, bro. I mean, come on.
Fuck. You need to support the sport.
Boxing.
No.
You need to support the sport.
I don't support
Yeah,
bullshit, bro. I'm sorry.
I pay for them because I have terrible luck with them streams, dude. I have to watch it, and I tried it a couple of times. I have bad funk, you know what I mean? It just doesn't work for me at all.
Yeah,
So
I can understand. I can understand that
Boxing?
position
Boxing
from
stream.
people who pay for pay-per-views.
Yeah, it cost me $100. You know, it's like damn. Especially,
no.
I didn't pay for the Mayweather fight, but that was an opportunity. He should. Well, I just don't watch Mayweather. I haven't watched him since the fight before Canelo. I think the last time I've seen him throw a punch. But I refused. I knew it. I called it. I said this is what's going to be, and especially when I heard rumblings about May. You know, of course, everybody was hearing the rumors about his shoulder injury, and the fact that he should have bailed out on that. But of course, it was fucking probably $1 billion. Exactly. There's too much money in the line. But, I mean, it just made where I live, guys, here in Boston, right? The #1 talk show, radio show in the afternoon, 98.5, they don't ever ever talk about boxing. And of course, that brought boxing into the forefront. I mean, they were doing shows on it. They actually flew out to Vegas. Swear to God, Monday after the fight, Felger in Mass. Mike Felger looks at the camera because it's simulcast on the. He goes, and he said F, but just said F. He didn't say the word, but he goes F boxing. You will never hear me talk about boxing on this show again. And they went on to the diatribe about how terrible boxing. It's a scam. And I was just sitting there in my car in traffic, and it was like a fucking train wreck. I couldn't turn it away because I was so upset. I wanted to call the show and go like, fuck, what did you expect? What was Mayweather suddenly going to be in a fucking throwdown?
Yeah, but I hate to hear these stories, man, because I know also everybody was talking about this fight, Pacquiao Mayweather, and it could have been great, man. He could have held boxing, but he did the complete fucking opposite, man. It's sad. Man.
There's still an open lawsuit. Imagine that as a. Oh, sorry, I have under delay. Sorry about that, Precise.
No.
Cut you off.
I was just saying, Bucho, take a couple of shots of tequila and perk up, bro, man. It ain't that bad.
Man, I'm just gonna kill myself, man. Fuck. No,
but can you guys hear me?
I get the feeling Bucho really hated that fucking fight.
No, because I hate, man. Fuck me. Trust me. I try to bring people into boxing. My casual boxing fans, my friends, let's go to the bar and fucking drink and watch a pay-per-view. And I used to bring him to fucking Mayweather fights. Man, I was a fucking idiot. I was. Because those fights were the ones that, people show up to the bar because it's a pay-per-view fight, right? And fuck, they were pissed at me. It's like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, fuck. I was like, yeah, sorry.
That sport did nothing for the casual. You know how many casuals or people who got introduced to the sport? Imagine you've never seen a fucking boxing match before, and everybody paid $100. There's parties everywhere. You sit down, and I'd be like, I'd rather watch two fucking squirrels fighting for garbage out front. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been more entertaining.
Mayweather De La Hoya was the last pay-per-view I ever bought. I mean, I did go to the movie theater for Mayweather Mosley, but that was the last pay-per-view that I truly bought. After that, I was done with Mayweather, man.
I tried that once. It was a good time. I went to a movie theater for a fight. I can't remember which it was. I was fucking wrecked.
It's great.
I mean, awesome time. It was a good time.
Yeah, I had a good time. The visual, I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I concur 100%. It was an awesome time. I wish I was more sober.
Hey, listen, I went to a video store to watch, what was it, Mayweather Ortiz. It was a pretty good experience. It's nice and cozy in the booth. I didn't appreciate the glory hole, though. That was another story. But anyway, the other thing is this. People are saying, I know, man. Manny Pacquiao. Some people, I said after the Mayweather Pacquiao fight, I said, you know what, these two guys, I don't want to see them again. But I probably will watch the Pacquiao Matisse fight because it seems like it's a good, intriguing fight. The other thing is, I had a guy named Reverend Gulliver Johnson sent me an email and said, BDA, you're a man of faith. How come you still support Pacquiao or still watch his fights, even though he's an adulterer? Well, Gulliver, like the good Lord says, you love the sinner, you hate the sin. So that's my position on Manny Pacquiao.
I like the strange emails you get.
No, but this is good Christian BDA talking this way. This isn't the jokester BDA, the one that likes to be silly. No. This is the real. It's not a character, Christian BDA. So that's what I have to say about that. Hate the sin, love the sinner. Can I get an amen? Anybody? Pavel.
Amen.
There you go. Thanks.
Amen, kid.
Amen.
Hey, I thought.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
I thought
Lord.
Hallelujah. I mean, excuse me. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
God save the Queen.
No, I just want to go to the Pacquiao thing. I think Manny Pacquiao deserves all the credit in the world. Do you know what I mean? You got to back Pacquiao, watch his fights. Yes, I'm the same as you, BDA. Totally lost sort of love for boxing after that Manny Pacquiao Mayweather fight. It was horrible, and it really set boxing back quite a bit. So I don't forgive him for that. But Manny Pacquiao has given us war after war, for years now, and he deserves a fight in Malaysia. And he's not even picked a real bum, to be honest with you. Lucas Batista is not a bum, is he? Let's be real. He's a decent fighter. He's a good puncher. So it's still a hard test for him at this stage of his career. So he's not really cherry picked the bum for a fight in Malaysia. He's still fighting a decent guy, and I'll always watch Money. Yeah,
he's tiny for welterweight too. I always, that blows my mind how small he is. He probably won't even be 147 at the end of the fight after he sweats it out.
I think he's quite thick boned. He looks quite stocky and quite thick. I mean, he's quite a muscly. Yeah. Like I said, look at his calves and everything. Yeah. So I think that's where the weight is, just muscle.
He's one of the few guys who actually connected on it. Like he would hop and he connect on the bounce, like right on the as he landed. He's one of the few guys who could get so much force just on. It was hard to time him because most guys have to plant, pivot. He would hop and then bang, it hit you right on the land. And it's just a very hard thing to do, which is crazy athleticism.
Strong calves, man. That's calves. Strong calves will do that for you, man.
I'll tell you, I had very good calves, very strong calves, and I think it's these calves that stopped him being getting knocked out cold because the guy was so wide open. He used to get hit clean so many times, but he just had a very good chin. Dropped quite a few times, but had a very good chin, but was never really hurt badly, and that's because he had the calves like fucking Manny Pacquiao, and he was a featherweight, and that's Prince Naseem Hamed. Go back and look at the fucking guy. That's where a lot of that power came from as well, from his legs. His legs were like tree trunks, man. And
what do you guys think about that fight? Like a fantasy fight?
Well, I think
featherweight, Pacquiao, Hamed.
I think Pacquiao's just too busy. Prince was a great fight, but Pacquiao's got a good chin for a start, so he's going to hold some of them shots. And Manny Pacquiao's just going to throw too many punches, too clean. Yeah, for Prince, he's too wide open, isn't he, Hamed?
Yeah, he was too open for shots.
Yeah, and when Manny Pacquiao, when you're open against Manny Pacquiao, it's going to be a horrible night for you.
If you're talking prime. Yeah. If you're talking prime, I know who's going to take Manny's a pretty tough out for anybody. But Prince, I'll tell you, man, when he came in on HBO, when he came in with that, was it a tiger? He came in the air and shit in a cage. That was fucking crazy.
Well,
Man, that was crazy.
Prince used to have the best ring entrances in boxing.
You got people talking about him. You got to give this. He was a great self promoter.
Yeah, he had people waiting 5 minutes for him just to come into the ring. I mean, he did. Kevin Kelly was getting furious with him, but that was showmanship. But the thing is with Prince, he backed it with knockouts. Very, very exciting fight. One of my favourite fighters from the 90s and early 2000s was Prince Naseem Hamed. Really, really good fighter. His style just would have been all... Manny Pacquiao's style would have been all wrong for him. And I'd be picking Manny Pacquiao on that one by stoppage, I should think.
Hamed's American debut was the best debut ever for a British fight. Prince Naseem Hamed's debut in the U.S., his first fight was the best fight anybody could have.
Kevin Kelly. Against Kevin Kelly. Yeah. I spoke to Kevin Kelly a couple of times on Skype. We used to speak to him, me and Errol Jarrett, and his wife. I was speak to him on Facebook still. Kevin Kelly sent me a video on Facebook saying happy birthday and all that lot. So I've got a lot of time for Kevin Kelly. And we speak about that fight all the time. And he's got nothing but good things to say about Prince Naseem Hamed. Even though, he lost to the guy, but he still looks back at that fight. Because I said to him, "Don't you think you threw it away?" Because Kevin Kelly was actually winning the fight early on by using his jab and boxing, but he got dragged into a war with Naseem Hamed. And when you get dragged into a war with someone like Hamed, he comes from these funny, unorthodox angles and he hits you with bombs. And that was the problem with Kevin Kelly. When he was getting behind his jab and just doing the basic stuff, he was catching Prince coming in all the time and he was schooling Prince. But then he just got dragged into a war, and that's when it suited Prince and he took over. But that's a great fight.
Now, that's the thing. Do you guys think, because they said when Barrera fought him, or after rather, people were saying, oh, that's what you have to do against Hamed. You have to make him lead. If you go at him, he knocks you out. We never got to see Hamed lose again after Barrera. But do you think that was true then, right? Yeah,
that's what Kevin Kelly was doing. And then for some reason, I think he thought Hamed was there for the taking because he was just catching him so cleanly so often, he probably thought it's just a matter of time before I get him out of there. So he started to let his hands go, and that's when it suits Hamid when you're walking onto him, like you just said. But when Hamid's having to come looking for you, that's when he leaves himself wide open, and that's what Barrera did. He changed his game plan. Prince Nassim Hamid weren't expecting that from Barrera, was he?
No. It's interesting, man. Yeah, that's a good point. So you're saying head to head, Pacquiao just too fast, too strong, and his calves are too juicy for Nassim Hamid.
You got to remember, Pacquiao can hold a shot as well.
Right, but that's the interesting thing, because I was watching recently. I was watching the Hamid Barrera fight, and then I was watching a couple of other Barrera fights, and how good he was, just landing that body shot, gruesome body shot, left hook to the body. It didn't have an effect on Pacquiao. Now, again, I'm not saying because Pacquiao beat Barrera, that means that Pacquiao beats Hamid. But it's interesting how Pacquiao just walked through that left hook from Barrera and just overwhelmed him. I mean, that's got to be one of the most... People talk about the Hatton knockout, about the Cotto fight, the Morales knockout, but the first Barrera fight, to me, still remains Pacquiao's best, the most impressive performance, really, because that was before Pacquiao really learned how to throw that right hook or go to the body.
Yeah.
Now, here's a question, though.
Barrera, I mean, like I said, the way Barrera... I don't think that was the Prince Nassim Hamid in his prime, to be honest with you. I think he was fading before that. He lost his love for the sport. He weren't training properly. He was arguing with his trainer. He was a cocky bastard, weren't he? He got too arrogant for his boots.
He was so cocky, this guy wanted to beat him up. Eubanks.
Yeah.
Eubanks Senior wanted to beat him up.
He was so cocky. He was so cocky. Even Allah wanted to beat him up. Do you know what I mean? Fuck that.
He wanted to rain fire and brimstone on the poor Prince Nassim.
Yeah, and I think that was his problem. When you take your eye off the ball in boxing at the elite level against people like Barrera, then you're going to get found out very quickly, and that's what happened. He came back for one fight after that, and then just disappeared out of boxing. Just lost the love. I think the Hamid effect was same with Floyd. I think if Floyd had lost his zero, I think if Floyd had lost his zero early, I think he would have gone the same way.
Yeah, very good point, man. Never thought about that.
I agree with that. You know, I thought that a loss would have made him much better, but I look at it now. There's a reason why he always wanted to avoid a loss. Always.
He would have lost his fucking mind, I think.
Probably a little bit like what happened with Andrew Ward as well. The first Kovalev fight almost sent him into retirement, and the second one just said, all right, I got the win. Whoops, I'm gone. Well, now he's talking about coming back, but different division. Now, here's an interesting question, because Stu raised the question, who had the better calves? Hamid or Pacquiao?
I don't know who has the better looking calves. I don't really pay attention like that, but it just seems
Come on.
Like better balance.
Who had the sexier calves?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking, essentially.
Hamid had big calves, too. They both did.
To be fair, I'm used to the
Pacquiao's more.
Yeah, well, we're used to the 147 Pacquiao calves. You know, Hamid was like what 126, wasn't he? Do you know what I mean? So, I can't really remember Pacquiao at featherweight. I can't remember how he was built. I think he was a lot slimmer, that's for sure, and less muscle. So, but I'm used to that stocky Pacquiao with the big calf sort of thing from 147. So for me, I'd probably say pound for pound, I'd say Nassim Hamid, better calves.
He was shorter too, right? Wasn't Nassim shorter than Pacquiao? I mean, Pacquiao's like 5'5".
All right, listen, I'm just going to go ahead and ask everybody. Ask it really direct, because I don't think anybody wants to say it. Who would have looked better in a pair of Daisy Dukes? Nassim Hamid, or Manny Pacquiao? Come on. Answer the question, please.
I'll take pictures of both of them.
Well, if Manny heard you ask that, he'd be all upset. Didn't he come down in the homosexual community?
He did, yeah.
Tweeting out shit about that.
He can do whatever he wants. He's Manny Pacquiao. Come on. Just don't take what he said.
No, I was just wondering, was it him, though?
Yeah, apparently he did.
Or am I just
he said he should die or something like that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now, I just want to remind people here at BDA, we do accept people from all walks of life. Was that an apology?
Disclaimer. I'm kidding.
What did you say, apology? I didn't hear.
I said he's not lying.
Oh, listen. Again, I got to reiterate what...
Disclaimer, BDA, say it.
Disclaimer, the BDA disclaimer. We don't condone the views of people on this hangout. We're just having a conversation. not denigrating anybody, not casting dispersions about anybody. Everybody has the right to do whatever they want, as long as they're not hurting anybody innocent, themselves really, or anything that goes against the law of God. Praise Jesus. Anyway, listen, the point is this. Do you think, one last question, does Prince Nassim Hamed, if he would have caught Pacquiao flush on the chin coming in, could he have iced him the same way Marcus did?
Yeah. If he catches him with one of those kind of shots, yeah.
I think you get we can hear you watching the weekly news in the background there. Recognize.
Sorry about that.
Trying to keep up with the New York crime rate.
He's just watching X's recent arrest on breaking news. That's
breaking
news.
Why do you have to throw X under the bus like that? Come on.
Now, me and X are cool, man. He knows I'm messing with him, man.
Yeah, I hope so. Because if he catches you, if he thinks you're being serious, he's gonna come down on you, man.
Nah, man. All hell X. You know what I mean? Like people say, all hell Allah, all hell X.
Absolutely.
I'll smack the rest of X's teeth out of his goddamn mouth. That's what I would do.
Yeah, you talk tough, but then when you're face to face with somebody, you don't do it. Like when Cotto was in front of you, even though you're much taller than him, you didn't do anything.
Little cutter, little 5'5".
Recognize hashtag recognize shat it from Cotto.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, by the way, recognize.
I should have never told that story. That's bad.
Did you, after that...
I made it up, guys. I made it up.
But let me ask you something. After that story, did you always root against Cotto from then on, or...?
Never liked him. Yep.
Rumor has it Recognize was on all sorts of drugs after he beat Martinez.
You know, I picked him to beat Martinez.
Really?
Yep. Huh. I knew Martinez was done at that point.
I didn't think. I thought Martinez was going to school Cotto. I think prime Martinez would have, but nah, man, Martinez was done.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
A lot of people forgot when they was picking that fight. A lot of people forgot that Sergio Martinez lost to Martin Murray in Argentina before that.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And that's Martin
Murray. He did lose that fight.
Yeah, to Martin Murray in Argentina. So that was just telling us how he was fading. And then when he comes in with Forrest Gump legs, it's all over, isn't
it? He did.
By the way, everybody should watch Martinez Murray fight, because that's like very climatic one. You know, even though you don't like those fighters, I think you should watch the fight. It looks like a movie with that storm in the background.
Oh yeah, yeah. The power actually.
Speaking of Martin Murray, let's shit on Billy Joe Saunders a little bit.
I was just about to say that's what I was about to ask Stu right there. Precise. I was just about to say, have you heard where they're gonna have the surgery on his hand?
And then he sprung a hip injury. What's going on, Stu?
Thank God he pulled out the fight. That fight was shocking.
I watched his interview. I watched his interview today. I'm not going to back him. I'm not going to back him. Listen, I fucking called David Haye everything, and so did Billy Joe Saunders when David Haye pulled out of 2 fights against Tyson Fury. Billy Joe Saunders and myself included called him everything. Yeah, Billy Joe.
You think
Saunders,
there's truth, Stu? You think there's truth to the rumors that he's negotiating a much bigger fight with either Canelo or Triple G?
Oh, in the interview he said today, he said he's in a position where he's close to a multi-million-dollar fight. He is not going to risk that by not being 100% in a fight. He was saying, you know, he goes, Martin Murray, you was just a warm-up for me. He goes, I'm not going to risk, you know, losing a multi-million-dollar fight for a warm-up against you and being half fit. So I think there is some truth to the injury, but there's more. I think more to the point. I think if he fights Martin Murray, he's going to have to take at least 3 months off, and then he's going to have a camp, which is going to be a couple of months. So you're talking, he's not going to be in the ring for another 5 or 6 months. I think if he doesn't take this Murray fight, I think he can let the injury heal and then get in one of these big fights. I got a feeling it could be Canelo Alvarez, to be honest with you, or someone along them lines. Do you know what I mean?
I can't see Canelo taking that risk. I mean, obviously he's going to get the decision, Canelo, if they ever do fight. Whether he wins the fight or not, he gets the decision. But I just can't see Canelo getting in the ring with Billy Joe Saunders for some reason. Like he'll make him look bad. He might not beat Canelo, right? But it's just going to make him look bad.
Yeah. But the thing is, people say that, but how many times has Canelo got in with fighters that make you look bad? He fought Lara that makes you look bad. He fought Trout and Mayweather that make you look bad. You know, you can't really say about Canelo. The Canelo fight any style, any man, and that's why you got to like Canelo. I know he's a drug cheat. We can't forget that. But this guy will take on any style. He's fought Golovkin, for fuck's sake, so you can't really knock the guy. He's fought Mayweather. He's fought styles that just do not suit him at all, and they've made him look bad, and he still took the challenge on. So for me, I have to disagree with that, and I think he'll fight. I think he'll take the fight.
We'll see.
How many fights since he's won the belt off Lee has he had? That was what, 2015?
1, 2, 3, 4.
He fought the Russian kid.
5 fights
Since Lee Saunders?
I think. Yeah, well, Monroe.
Because I knew the Russian kid, Monroe, and then Lemieux.
And
Nick Blackwell. No, it wasn't Nick Blackwell. He fought that before. I'm thinking the Eubank.
I can only come up with 3, so that would be 3 in 3 years. That's not good.
Maybe you're right.
And then 2 out of the 3. I mean,
yeah, it's only been 3 fights.
About as feather fist as they come.
The thing that gets me about Billy Joe Saunders' apologist, you know, like in that Eubank fight, you heard all this. Oh, I wasn't ready. I wasn't in love with boxing. I was 190 pounds and I wasn't feeling it. He was 190 pounds hitting the pads in preparation for Martin Murray, which is, if indeed the injury is real, which is probably why he hurt himself. You know what I mean? I just don't think. To me, it doesn't seem like he's very much disciplined. So I'm not sitting there saying, oh, he looked bad in this fight because of this or that. Because to me, it looks like he's always fat.
I saw a clip on Tyson Fury's Instagram of Billy Joe Saunders hitting the bag, and he looked in good shape. No way was he 190 pounds. No way. He would have been...
Boxing Physique. Somebody mentioned that channel, at the last hangout, I think. Boxing Physique had a video. I don't know, maybe he was trolling. Yeah,
he did.
But he had Billy Joe Saunders, I think, in the build-up to the first supposed Murray fight. I don't remember.
No, the first
but
one.
he was...
I thought he meant this one, because I've seen... This is a recent clip, so the first one, you might be right. Yeah, first.
Yeah, he was 190 pounds and bragging about it. And he looked it, too.
Hey, Precise, did you see the workout videos with Tyson Fury on Boxing Physique's channel?
No, I could only take that guy like seriously now and then. I don't know. There's something about him. I'm just kind of, I don't know. He's kind of a clickbaiter, you know what I mean? Should I? Was it worth it?
The video, I mean, you might find it interesting. His work, okay, so in this video that Boxing Physique has, it's Tyson Fury when he started working out, this hard training that he's been into for over a year already, or a year it's been. And the transformation that he's made, it looks pretty good. And he actually trains like a beast. I mean, I know that you can edit the video and make it look really good, but some of the shit that he's doing, I mean, it's like, he looked like he was deadlifting, I want to say 600 pounds. He was doing it more than, he did like 10 reps of like putting it on the floor, bringing it back up to your knees, putting it on the floor. He did at least 10. If not more.
Those CrossFit weights? He wasn't using fake weights?
No, these weren't fake.
How much is who are you talking about?
Tyson Fury.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm sorry.
Anyway, he looked good. That's the video was good. Tyson Fury looked good, and he looks like he's training like a beast.
Well, listen, if you're 6'9", you better be able to deadlift a shitload of weight. If you're 6'9" and you're deadlifting 100 pounds, then yeah, you better
right.
You better hit the fucking
10
gym.
reps that's a lot, man. 10 reps.
But 10 reps is a lot, man. That's
600 pounds. That's a lot. 600 pounds for 10 reps. I don't care. That's a lot of weight.
I can do that right now.
Surprising to me that he was able to do that.
Don't quote me exactly. It looked. I'm just saying, to me, it looked like it was 600 pounds.
He can do what he did without a warm up all day.
Do you guys think that? Do you guys think that Huey Fury is going to be any sort of threat in that division?
Is he? No. Negative.
Oh, come on, poor Huey, man. Come on. By the way, what type of name is Huey?
Let's be real, right? Let's be real. He could have.
Terrible name.
No, but the fight with Parker, he arguably could have won it. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think he's as bad as people think he is. I think he's quite tricky. I think he's quite hard to. I think he's one of them fighters that make you look bad.
Miguel Vasquez is more exciting than him.
What? No, I don't know about that.
I think the kid is talented. I think he's got a lot of time. I think they rushed him a little bit. I mean, look, the opportunity presented itself. They took the money. They went for it. No harm done. But I think he needs to be developed, and he's definitely talented, and he can move. He just needs to learn how to stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He needs to learn how to stick. The whole butterfly thing, he's got it down. Now he's got to sting. Is that what you're saying, Precise?
Yep, exactly.
Exactly. See, there you go. Yeah, and by the way,
he caught Parker with some good shots. He did.
No, he didn't.
I tell you what, I think he's quite a clever boxer as well. If you watch just the simple things he does, I think he's quite tricky, to be honest. I think it's an intelligent box, just no snap behind his punches. That's the problem. I think, I think he needs to grow into some man strength. I think heavyweights don't hit their prime to about 28, 30. I don't know.
Really? What is he? 22, 23? I mean, he's just a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, look at Daniel Dubois. You know what I mean? He probably beat Daniel Dubois.
He'd beat Daniel Dubois. No problem at all. He'd fucking school Daniel Dubois.
Daniel Dubois is a heavyweight David Lemieux.
Now wait a minute.
One-dimensional, one right hand heavy.
Now wait just a minute.
Heavy, one-dimensional, no head movement. Similarities in there, big time.
Okay, Cameron, you don't have to shout. You don't have to swear. You need to take it easy, right?
Where did I swear in that sentence?
See, you're doing it again. Just take it easy, Cameron. Just take it easy. Jeez.
He's very aggressive, man.
He's very aggressive. Yes.
Apology, man. You barely say a word in this podcast. Keep quiet, man.
That's a lot of respect for you, Cameron.
I think you should ban him, BDA.
Was that?
Getting hostile.
Yeah, he's getting hostile. We're gonna have to get security in here. BDA security. Look, listen.
Since when did the apology turn? I can't hear a word you're saying, man. You didn't ever got that new mic I told you about, him.
You need to block him like Michael Scott.
You're turning into him. You're turning into him, man. You're telling him how to run the show and shit.
Come on, man.
I don't think it's the mic, guys. Just a hint.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, listen.
I think when he gets close to the mic, it sounds all right. I think you're just talking too far away from it.
Whoever's in the chat saying I'm Scandinavian, it's a lot of bullshit.
Yeah. I don't know who this guy.
I think you look a bit Iranian in that picture on your Skype.
Cheers, man.
He looks Armenian.
Give us the Allah Akbar.
They don't call me Jihadi Khan for no reason over here.
I want the Allah Akbar fucking soundbite. Where is it, BDA?
Well, look. First of all, I don't play this. I don't play the soundboard. It's Mammon 1000.
By the way, is Low Place Puerto Rican?
Oh yeah, what the fuck, man? He looks
Puerto
Rican.
Allah Akbar!
He looks.
I saw Low Place. I went on his channel the other day, and I saw him. I thought this guy's like a mixture of Keith Thurman and Bermain Stavern. That's what the guy looks like.
I shot him out. I was like, "Yo, I didn't know you was Puerto Rican, my brother."
Oh man, we'll explain some things.
I thought Low Place. He looked nothing like how I expected him. I thought like, he'd be this bold guy. Seemed like this bold guy, old guy. Sort of, not old guy. I mean,
I've seen Low Place before. I've seen it. His voice doesn't match his face, does it?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When I saw his face, I thought, "The fuck is this man?" Like, you know what I mean?
He's like a little what's his name? Kevin Hart, and he looks like a little Kevin Hart.
He has the Keith Thurman hair going on. I mean, Jesus.
Did he have has he got a Thurman haircut now? Because I haven't seen him for ages.
Yeah, he's got like a long hair, man. He's got it put up and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, he had it like long.
Oh, he's got a John David Jackson, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, John David Jackson. That's the one I was thinking of.
I'm gonna have to check that out because now I'm intrigued. I thought he would. You said Keith Thurman. I thought you said Keith Thurman. Doesn't he have threats?
No.
No, that's just some fucked up. Keith Thurman needs to do something with that, man. Put some oils in it or something, man. The fucking thing. You could brush the fucking the backyard with that fucking head, couldn't you?
Just
Look at
looking
it.
further to the chat, I'm not actually part of ISIS. I don't know where that started from, but yeah.
Cameron's one of the 23,000 jihadis we have in the UK.
Fucking come on, Cameron. Fucking got a few fucking.
That's why he's cool with X. No, I get it.
Cameron's calling in from the Finsbury Mosque in East London, isn't he, Cameron? Finsbury Park Mosque.
Fuck's sake. This fucking show's gone well fucking south.
Well, listen, guys. On that note, we can't end any better than that. Come on, we gotta end it on a high note. So we do have to go. But I want to thank everybody that showed up. Recognize Precise, Stu, Pavel, Cameron, Apology, and of course Jimmy. Thanks again for being on.
Nice.
And by the way, hold on.
Hey, guys, be safe tonight. Everybody be safe.
Hey, Butcher, when we doing this football thing? Butcher, when we doing this
Stu, I'll talk to you on Skype. I say Thursday we can do it.
I'll be on that.
Yeah, I mean, we should have done a Renaissance last week when there was no boxing on. I don't know why we didn't do that.
I was busy.
Now I know why. Go ahead, man.
Sorry, Precise. Go on.
I'm saying, like, what's going on, BDA? You guys are slacking.
Well, first of all,
we figured out why
we have a life, man. Like, we can't do this.
I figured out why Bucho's depressed, man.
What is that?
Uh-oh.
Germany, Sweden, and above all, South Korea.
Oh.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Did I get it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Damn,
Zlatan
it's not looking good.
Is Zlatan go with Sweden? He's not, is he?
No, he does not.
Oh,
They don't want him there.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's why Butcher's stocking up on tequila. I saw that he's got a bunch of
Well,
bottles.
if I off myself, you guys will understand why. You know?
Oh mate, I'm gonna get the barbecue out, have a few boys round, a few beers. But the thing is, every time I do that,
Stu, give me an invite, bro.
Hey, you can come out if you want to make it all the way down here. You can, mate. You're always welcome around here.
I appreciate it, man.
Cameron, if you go down to Stu's place, I got a feeling you might end up feeding the dogs, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. You know what happened to Joe Pesci in Casino when he went to the desert?
You mean in the cornfield?
Him and his brother. His brother.
That was a brutal beating, man. Whoa.
That's one of the worst beatings I've seen, man. When I saw that, every time I went to bed for about a month after, all I could see was Pesky's head split open, man. Just couldn't get that fucking thought out of my head, man. It's horrible, wasn't it?
You got to think to yourself, who came up with that idea? You know.
Well, apparently it happened in real life, but then again, I don't know how they could know that if there were no witness.
No, because the real guy's name is I've seen a little documentary about him. His name is some. It's not the name that they use in the casino, but he did get. They weren't sure how he died, so I'm not sure if that was true or not, because obviously he went missing. The rumours were that they took him to the desert and beat him and his brother up with baseball bats and buried him in the desert, but there was no proof that actually happened. So that bit of the film I did.
Now I got a question for you. Why couldn't they talk it out? Like, why did they need to resort to violence? That's what I don't get. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, do you mean like he did, like Joe Pesci? He used to really talk things out in casino.
Exactly.
Didn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think he crossed the line when he started like sleeping with the Jew's wife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that's a death sentence in the old school mafia, isn't it? With the old
yeah, like they take that shit. I mean, I don't know. I was never in the mafia, but
we need to do a second. BDA, we need to do a second Renaissance, bro.
On what? On casino?
I don't know, man. I think we just need to do one, man.
Gangsters. Let's do one on gangsters.
Yeah, you want? Well, let's think about it. Let's think about what we could do.
Allahu Akbar. Talk about that.
And by the way,
because we did say religion. The thing with religion, though, people get too hyped when you talk about religion. Look how when we just mentioned a few things just as an opinion last week, everyone's in there. You know nothing about Islam. You know nothing about this. People get too hyped about religion, so it's best to try and keep away from that topic. I don't mind speaking
that's a good point.
5 minutes about it, but for a whole show, man, it's just toxic, isn't it? Religion.
Oh yeah, it's
so
no.
We should have a MGTOW show.
And again,
You already
yeah, why
had like
not?
2
You
MGTOWs.
talk about that enough. You talk about
Yeah,
that.
but like dedicated MGTOW show.
Nah, but there's just nothing I can
Not
add to
enough of that.
MGTOW anymore. Yeah, there's nothing more I can add about MGTOW. Not really.
All right, if you want to, we can mix a little bit of, we can delve into something that mixes in a little bit of religion, but not too much. We could end up talking about what we never, on that last episode, we touched on it a little bit, which was demonology, spirituality, you know, spirit possession and all that. We could do that.
Yeah,
I like it.
Stuart was like fucking breaking the Da Vinci codes, man. He was awesome. He was awesome that day.
I know. I don't know what happened to me. I was overcome by a guardian angel feeding me the information about demonic worlds. You know what I mean? Fuck, so I don't know where it all came from, but
Guardian angel.
my
But
guardian angel. Isn't it?
that was a
But
good
like I
show,
said,
that was, man. That was
demons
one
are
of my
real,
favourite
bro.
shows.
Yeah, demons are real. Demons are real. And then, like I said, I've proved that to you boys.
I mean, have you seen women
He
people?
proved that to you.
I reckon I've been taken over by a demon.
So
That
Cameron,
explains a lot. That explains a lot.
I reckon I've been taken over by a demon.
do you think so, Cameron?
Yeah, man.
Do you wake up with scratch marks on you?
No, only when I was with my ex, mate.
Oh.
Like I said, I don't want to bring this up, Cameron. I don't want to bring this
they
up,
say
Cameron.
one of the signs of the.
Go on, what were you saying?
I was just saying, I didn't.
Go
Go on,
on,
apology.
Fuck's
Go on,
sake,
bro.
someone talk.
Yeah, go on, Steve. Go on, Steve.
I was just gonna say I didn't really want to mention it, but I noticed you did say X, and I did say not to get too excited, bro. The women come and go in your life.
No,
and
this
that's
is
what-
a very old. This is my actual ex, bro. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. What?
One
So what
for a
happened with
while.
this girl, Cameron? What happened with this girl, man? Come on, tell the world.
Oh man, you know what, man? We was meeting up and shit. It just didn't feel like you know, this you were with a girl and you just like, it's just something missing. You know what I mean? It was one of those ones.
That's why I said to you, bro, be very careful when you start getting all loved up and telling, oh, this is the right one, because it can just switch just like that. It just takes something to happen that you think, no, this is not for me. So that's why you've always got to be on your guard. Keep it cool and collective for the first few months and then take it from there.
That's
Bit of
right.
advice from an experienced man there, Cameron.
Yeah, man, I would actually take that on though.
That's
Yeah, we
right.
need to do a second Renaissance, man. Because that episode that we done that got lost, that was one of my favourite ones, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
that was a fun
me talking about, me and Recognize talking about his granddad and all that, like being in the
Yeah,
room.
that was hilarious. That was a good show. That was.
But
good
they
stuff.
took it down, fuckers.
It's a
Oh,
shame
they
that
took it down. Can't you get back?
No,
Yeah, it disappeared. It's gone.
it's a fucking shame. In a way,
What
it was a
did you-
good thing because a few of us were like going into deep shit.
But we put demons in. Did we put demons in the title?
I don't think so, no.
Yes.
I think we did.
I think my grandfather got rid of that.
Yeah.
That video.
They done us a favour. Whoever got rid of it, man, done us a favour because a few of us were talking some real personal shit.
Done you a favour, Cameron, definitely.
Yeah, it definitely did me a favour. I'll tell you that.
He was open like that.
I was talking about my old fucking biography.
Yeah, but in a way, that's a good thing that people didn't get to hear that, because then they
Yeah.
can't use it. They can't use it as ammo against you. So it's a good thing in a way. It's just a shame we couldn't have, downloaded certain bits of it and put it back
Edit
up.
it
But
out, yeah.
yeah,
I think you need to put some keywords in the title, so you will invite some bunch of crooks in the chat.
Well, like what? Like what? Because Aaron
Well,
Cook was saying,
like for example, you put a MGTOW on the title, or demons in the chat, right? So that might invite some of the crazy people in the chat, so we can have a laugh.
Crazy people.
Just a suggestion. Yeah.
first of all, we already have.
to be fair, I quite enjoyed that Traversable input when he came on. Did you?
Absolutely, yeah. It was a great. It was a great show.
I found it a new respect for the guy after that. I did.
That guy's pretty big on the MGTOW.
I'll tell you what, man, I was going to say quite big in general. I wouldn't want a right hand off the cunt. It's in the size of his arms. Fucking hell.
It was a pretty good episode, man.
Could have been
Yeah,
a
I
boxer.
enjoyed
He could have been Stu. He could have been a boxer with those hands.
No, he looks like one of them old Hell's Angels that used to kick you to death with his airwear boots.
At the Rolling Stones concert, yeah. Yeah, it was a good show. It was supposed to be about flat Earth, but then we changed it midway through and we just said, you know what,
Because we don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Everyone was agreeing. Everyone was agreeing it was round. So there was no debate. We just said it's round. So there's no discussion. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But like Pavel said, maybe we can attract some flat earthers that are experts on that subject.
But we did.
Yeah,
Remember, there were two flat earthers.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, there were two flat earthers in the chat. They didn't want to come in.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So yeah, we sort of missed an opportunity on that one. But if we write something really juicy, I think we could attract some people. Why not? Why not? But anyway, listen, guys. Yeah, go ahead, Pavel. Go ahead.
Can we make a rule if we don't have anything, if we don't think about anything to talk about, then we can talk about MGTOW.
Again? All right. Yeah, why not? Yeah, that'll always be the go-to subject. Let's put it that way. All right, guys, listen again. Thank you for joining us. Everybody that was in here. Stu was here. Recognize, Precise, Pavel, Apology, Cameron, Jimmy. Thanks again for being on. Appreciate your support and your input. I want to thank everybody in the chat room as well. I want to thank Butcher. Who was it that donated? Was it Luke?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Luke, thanks again for your small tip. Very good. It gets us closer to that call-in show. We want to get off the ground, hopefully before the summer is over. So again, thanks everybody for being on. I want to thank everybody in the chat room. Antonio Garza, The Punisher, Shepherd the Sun, Subash Kunwar, John Gonzalez, Chris Gonzalez, Mr. Coxey, The Quacks, DJ Georgie, Porgy. Who else do we have on here? I mentioned The Punisher, Antonio Garza, Ira
Georgie Porgy.
Akuma's Deception.
I like that dude.
Rod T. Davies, Jesus, Aaron Kuko, like I mentioned. Again, thanks again, guys. The Punisher, Boxing Killers TV, Brandon White was here as well. Thanks again, guys. Antonio Garza was here for a while as well. Thanks for being on. You guys make this show. Check out our Patreon page. Don't forget to support us so we can get the call-in show off the ground. Thanks again, guys.
Mention that video you're making, the two videos you're making.
I'm making a prediction video for Jeff Horn versus Terence Crawford, and the Timothy Bradley Hall of Fame video. And I make. Are
you working on the Mayweather Pacquiao career comparison?
Yeah. What about it?
Okay. So I thought
it's written. I just have to record it, and we have to work on it. But anyway, guys, thanks again for your support. We'll see you on the next one, possibly Second Renaissance or maybe another midweek show. Thanks again, and take care, fellas.